Hello again, my friends, and you are my friends, and welcome back to another Matchday Ticket Live with me, the host, the governor. I've not missed a game since August. They should give me a shirt number. They really should. Availability is the best ability, and I've got that in bucket loads. And Elliot has made me laugh off the bat with Looks Like Wolf with the latest member of Lambert's Rentford Rejects. What a show that was, by the way, Rentford Rejects. That was an incredible show on Nickelodeon. Absolutely loved it. Welcome you all in. I can't wait to watch tonight's game with you. We've hopefully put together a really good, fun-filled show for you this evening because the football, let's face it, is absolutely dire. It really, truly is. So hopefully this will be a welcome distraction, a bit like sitting down the pub, get the beers in, and we'll shoot some stories, we'll share some banter, we'll have a laugh, and occasionally, via the use of my iPad, I might shoot you some scores if it's not looking too bad. If it's not. But then again, you know, most fans are thinking we are going to get hammered. Before I do introduce my two contributors, first and foremost, if you're watching this on Facebook, please do like it and share it. They help. On YouTube, please do like this video. And then, of course, share the link to all your peoples on social media. Every interaction really helps drive the show forward, and I really appreciate every single one of you that does that. And I thank you all for purchasing. Matt Stuttery got purchased in the chat, and it's got into my mind. Matt Stuttery purchased my ticket via Hull. I don't follow. Of course, if you need help, I think Callie's in the chat. He can help with that. Tony Mann, welcome in. I'm just outside York, so the weather is in to go by. It's miserable in Hull. Well, talking of miserable, we've got one man that is never, ever, ever anything but miserable. He is, of course.
Wake up to the, wow. Wake up to the money, turn me right on. You look like you got dressed with no lights on. A Superman that spin like a cyclone. Fit check, spin like a cyclone. Wake up to the money, turn me right on.
Yeah, but we're crap. We're not going to dominate any team.
The legend that is George Nunn is in the chat. George, we bow down to you, my friend. All you see before you in the design department is all down to George. He's a hero. Neil, welcome in. You say
Hello.
We're not going to dominate any team. We're absolutely rubbish. Are we going to get dominated tonight?
More than likely. I hope
More
not,
than likely. Well, what do you think to the play out as we head into it? You know, come on, get some impetus about you, Neil. Let's get you going.
Well, I've rushed around all day to come and watch this match, so let's hope it's bloody worth it.
So, what do you want to see from your team after you've rushed around all day?
I want them to rush like I have.
Yeah, a bit of urgency. Okay, let's raise the tempo. Let's bring our midfield engine into it now. Oh, sorry. I didn't press the button. I didn't bring it in.
Cheers.
I didn't press the button.
Hello.
How you doing, Steve? Welcome in, my man.
I am very well. How are you?
I'm very well. You apparently edges on the bench, not Lancaster. It's the bench. I'll change it at some point when I can find. I mean, that's the motivation. Do you know what I mean, Steve? It's like, are we going to see anybody from the bench come and make a game? I don't know. Anyway, I will change that. Thank you ever so much to Rob Smith. I do appreciate you pointing that out. Sid Driver wants them to rush around like a bricky. Yeah, is that on your level there, Neil? Because you're an electrician.
I imagine if they were rushing around like brickies, their wall would fall down.
So, Steve, you are an aficionado in many things. Ex-football shirts is another one of those things. Delightful one this evening. A team that played in it that was fairly good. The team tonight is not anywhere near that level. But what do you want to see? Well, I've asked Neil, but what do you want to see from it?
I want to see something solid. You know, I don't want to see Hull walk all over us. As long as we can just be solid in defence. I'm not expecting miracles.
Jesus.
Is that the same as last match?
Yeah.
Yes, it is. Apart from one change on the bench, so from going from 6 changes, Neil, he's gone, or 7 changes. He's gone to no changes. McGuinness and Wolfenden again do not make the bench. I hope they've not told Paul that they'd rather be at home with their wife and kids, Steve, because otherwise we might not see him again.
Yeah.
What do we make of the team then, guys? Chambers at right back, Toto, Wilson, Kenlock as the back 4, 2 clean sheets on the bounce. Will it be a clean sheet tonight? Will it be a whitewash? Will it be? What will it be? What are we thinking today, Steve?
I I agree with half of that defence. I like Wilson. I like Kenlock. Enciala, still undecided. Chambers, I'd rather see Matheson in his place. I mean, you've signed the guy and he's only played for a couple of games. So I'd rather see him. I think we're going to let a couple in tonight. But as long as it's not a whitewash, I'll be all right.
Yeah, I think that's the general feeling. I praised George. George is a hero. He just messaged in the chat saying, "Check your emails, Gov." And there it is, an updated team. He is a hero. But everyone's thinking it's going to be goals tonight. Sadly, not for us. How Paul Lambert would it be, having got a 0-0 with Oxford, to go and shithouse a 1-0 win tonight? Not going to happen, I don't think. But it would be Paul Lambert, right? Now he seems that sort of 9 lives. Land on your feet like a cat type of manager.
Try and keep him here a little bit longer. Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, I mean, he's a lucky guy, Steve. He just seems to, whenever you feel you've got Paul in a corner, you've got him, corner, this is it, surely it's the last time.
Mm-hmm.
It's never the last time.
It never is. There's been matches in the past where you think we got absolutely destroyed. Surely he's got to go after that, and he'll stay. And sure enough, we'll be the better team in the next game. And it just prolongs the agony. It's awful.
It is, and this is why we've done the watch along, because it's like, well, people are saying I don't want to watch the football, I don't want to pay for iFollow. Okay, well, don't just come and hang out in here, chill out. We'll shoot a breeze as it was, and blah blah. But I was saying last night,
you can't see another 0-0 gap being on the books. Then you definitely think we're going to concede.
Yes. We found out last night, courtesy of Lee on the extra time show. Hull score goals, Hull create chances. They're a good team. I mean, they got a point at the weekend with a 3-3 draw. Like we're struggling to get over 1 goal a game. They're getting 3 and only getting a draw. But that does tell you though, right? That they're there for the
mighty Chambers.
Yes,
never getting past him.
Well, the mighty Parrott and Norwood. Like there was the under 23s played today, Steve, and I saw you tweet about it. Tell us what you tweeted, why you tweeted it, and how that sort of plays into tonight's football.
I think I called Lambert a moron. I think
you did.
I did. Because Jackson and Norwood, we know, do work well together up front. I think someone like Jackson, more Jackson than Nolan, I think Jackson would be handy to have in and around the first team. And it just seems Lambert is so set on saving face. He won't back down and bring him back into it. Just leave him out to dry in the under-23s. And Lancaster as well. I'd rather see Lancaster at least come in off the bench. But yeah, so it was frustrating to see. There's some people in the under-23s team today that would be in and around the first team and would do a good job.
But then you say that, but then today they drew 1-1 with QPR, a youthful QPR for all accounts, nil, and Jackson didn't score and Nolan didn't score. And if you're really going to be frozen out of the team, you've got to take those opportunities when you're playing against the younger under-23s to really sort of light it up.
Yep. Are they a little bit annoyed with it? Are they not putting their full effort in, or?
Yeah, but you can't be annoyed with it. You've got to pull your socks up and say, right, I'm going to put 3s today. So when they go and play Hull and get thrashed, people are going to say, look, Caden Jackson, 23, scoring 3 goals or even a goal. He didn't score today. It was a Dobra penalty. You've just got to start making a case for yourself with the next guy or a new club. Like you can't let those chances pass you by, Neil.
No, definitely not. No, all I was wondering is, was it the fact that they're not putting their effort in? Is that why? Well, they're not performing, or are they annoyed?
They use it as a motor. Trust me, I get enough hate and lemons to use it as my motivation. They've got to use it as theirs, and they've got to really drive themselves, Steve. Now, when you come on tonight, following that, and you've got no Jackson, no Nolan, no Lancaster, how much of a big game does James Norwood need? He came so close at the weekend, as close as you probably
off the
can.
Post.
Yeah.
He needs a good game today because he came so close in the last game, and he got a lot of stick for it.
I just couldn't believe how it fell to him, and then that happened.
It was crazy, wasn't it? You thought that was the shoe-in for a goal, but he needs a good game tonight. Parrott needs to start proving himself, I think, as well. He needs to start putting away the chances because he had a few. People like, I don't know, obviously, if we'll see them around the first team again, but Jackson and Nolan are going to be pushing for a return to that first team. So everyone's got to be on their toes. So.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, this is it. Although if I was up front tonight, I'm worried about Jackson coming back near the first team.
No.
Not while Lambert's in charge.
Well, no, that's it. If we get a new manager, though, it then becomes big if, it then just becomes a fresh sheet and a level playing field again, doesn't it? So
yeah, Mike Brown, Parrott is poor. And I think we're already at that point with Troy Parrott, Neil, where we need a goal from him because he's already at how much of a big game do we need from Troy Parrott stage?
Well, he had the first game, he looked lively. And we thought, here we go, he can push on from there. And he hasn't scored, has he? And then, was it 2 games ago? He had a really poor one.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, it's crying out. Last gasp, but if we're going to think anything of him, he needs to do something tonight. So,
the legend that is Matt Stanner with a classic Neil Moles line here. He's certainly lost his chirp.
Yep. I'd tweet that.
Yeah, that's another one. That's a pun, and you don't even know it. So yeah, I want to see a goal from him. I'm old-fashioned, Steve. I keep saying it every week. I'm old-fashioned. I like my strikers to score goals. I want a goal from both of them tonight, if I could be greedy. But certainly Troy Parrott. Like James Norwood's got, for me still, whatever issues off the field, on the field, he's got a lot left in the locker. That a lot built up over the years. Last year scored a number of goals for us. So you can look back and say, yeah, he's done it. Whereas Parrott didn't score on loan at Millwall and hasn't scored yet. Needs a goal. Alan Judge, another player. Where are we with Alan Judge? I don't know why or how he keeps his place.
He has the odd good game, like 1 in a dozen. You think, okay, he can offer something, but then he doesn't really seem to do all that much. He's not the player he was. How he keeps his place.
Up recently, though.
I've sat here every game since August. I could probably list you 5 games that I feel Alan Judge has done what I think Alan Judge should do. Like, whereas some players come in and they play well, but then they play poorly the following week, Neil, and that's it. Never see him again, or don't see him for a number of weeks. What is Alan Judge doing to keep starting for Town?
Well, who's better than him?
Bring Harrapin, bring Drinan into the team and move Parrott out as a more out wide on the left. Like, there's no reason, Steve, for
Parrott has been moved out on the left, hasn't he? He doesn't seem good enough up front on his own, so he has to play out wide.
But now you got Edwards back fit as well.
Fit enough to sit on the bench, certainly. ITFC Tweedy, I take to see Harrop on the bench, yet Lancaster missing out, annoys me, play our own. Yeah, we'll certainly bring these players in and play them. Nice to see Bennett start again. I like Bennett. Not everyone's cup of tea, but any player that we haven't yet managed to coach the ability to try and beat someone out of, I'm quite all for.
His ability to cross the ball is something to be desired.
Quite a lot to be desired. Yeah. And he often falls over the ball. But I don't know, he's the sort of player you do like to watch, I think. Just because when he gets the ball, I don't think he quite knows what's going to happen either. But you don't. So it's like, well, this could go either really well.
Or Danny Haynes.
Yeah, well, maybe possibly so, but it could go either really well or really funny, couldn't it, Steve? It's like either he falls over the ball or he beats 2 men and scores a worldie. It's like...
You don't really know where you stand with him, do you? There's some players where you think you sort of know what's coming. With him, like you say, he could either just pull something out of the bag that's insane and makes you go crazy, or he's going to run himself into trouble again. And I'm still a bit on the fence with Bennett because when I was watching him last game, he had a couple of good runs and there were teammates waiting and it would have been a good cross or a good pass and he just kept the ball for too long and they closed him down. Chance gone. He needs to sort of, I know he's obviously still quite a young guy, he needs to get that out of him.
The whole reason he's on loan with us.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Somebody's, Kev Sherwood, Bennett is a poor man's Bobby Petzer. I can see that, but then this whole team is a poor man's version of that 98, 99, 97 team. Funnily enough, the one you're wearing there, Steve, the shirt. Chris Wardman. I agree with Bennett. And that's what I like about him, Chris. He's got the purpose of going forwards. And we've not yet coached that out of him, Neil. Normally, we see a player arrive at Portman Road, and within 3 weeks, you think, who on earth is this bloke? Because it wasn't like Grant Ward. Hat-trick on his debut. He never looked the same player again.
Going round in circles for the rest of his career here.
It was a player that we brought in, and everyone thought he was a winger. he had some training sessions on the pitch before the game as a winger, but then never played as a winger. It was like the most bizarre thing I'd ever seen. Chris Blake, all our wingers play like Lee Martin, zero end product. Chris, I've seen your message. I will get back to you, my friend. Thank you ever so much. Sorry to been a bit busy, like daycare around here at the moment. Adam Cooper, I'd rather he lost the ball a few times and attacked the fullback than had a winger who will keep going sideways and backwards. Christopher Martin, if Bennett was one of our own, would be all over him. Yeah, I think that's a fair shout. If you're probably coming through the academy, but then that's the emotional attachment, isn't it, Steve, of an academy player. And they're always afforded a little bit more. Pageboy 5, at least Bennett gives defences something to worry about. Certainly gives them a bit more than Alan Judge might well do tonight. Somebody, I think it was Elliot earlier in the chat, said we need big games from Bishop and Andre tonight. They need to become men. I feel like I've been saying that for a while. So I'm going to hand over to Steve. What do you expect from Bishop? Or what do you want to expect from Bishop and Andre tonight?
They're always quite tricky because Lambert, he keeps referring to the young players. They're not kids anymore, especially with Bishop. I know he's lost a lot of time through injury, but they're not young kids now. So you need them to start really knuckling down. Dazelle is very inconsistent.
26.
He's around us. Is he mid-20s? Around that sort of thing, isn't he? I mean, I know Dazelle is still quite a young guy, but he's not a kid anymore. He's not a youth player. I want to see more consistency from Dazelle. He has a few good passes in him, and that seems to be about it. Bishop, he's made of glass, but I do love the guy. I just want to see them sort of, more consistency from the pair of them, really.
Yeah. I'd like to see that you would like to think that those two have some creative spark about them, Neil, and that's what you would like to see from them both tonight, isn't it? I know it's a way you expect maybe to not have the ball as often as you'd like against a good Hull side, but when you do have it, you want to see those two doing something with it that's positive and progressive.
Yeah. For me, Bishop is like Bennett. He'll actually run at a team and give them something to worry about. But Dazelle, he made some good runs the last couple of games where there was some link play in the midfield and he finds himself in and around the box to try and put a shot in, or they get blocked or whatever happens. But the link-up play is something to be positive about. Other than that, he doesn't have the same drive and running at a player like the others do. Yeah,
absolutely. Do you think a goal would somehow, some way, a goal for Andre, Steve, would set him up nicely for a little run in the next couple of weeks? Could goal breed confidence?
Yeah, I think so. We saw a different side to Bishop. He got that early goal at Wigan on the opening game, and saw a different side to him. I think Dazelle, because he scored a few for us, hasn't he? But not for a little while. And I think a goal, whether he will tonight or not, but a goal certainly in the coming games for him would be ideal because it would prove that he has got what it takes. He can push forward and he can put the ball in the net when required, and he's not just made up of a few good passes.
No, exactly. Chambers starts or retains his place at right back. Obviously, recently in the press, Paul Lambert said that time waits for no man or something along those lines in regards to Luke. He is what he is at this point. Do you just want to see an average performance out of him, not one that costs you? I mean, you're not going to get thrills and spills out of him, are you, Neil?
I think he's all right. I know for myself, I've seen enough of him, and I like what Matheson brings to the team. But at the end of the day, if he wants to have it at more of a sure-looking defence, solid, robust, and defensive in its makeup, then he's better for the position. But yeah, that's clearly what he's going for. But other than Kenlock being in the side, I guess he's our outlet for wing back.
Yeah, and let's flip that then to Kenlock, Steve. Obviously, Kenlock has been playing fairly decently, considering some of the flack he's taken, at times rightly on this show, particularly from yourself. So are you pleased to see him playing well? Of course you are, but are you pleased to see him keep the place and you want to see more consistency from him?
Yeah, I am. I mean, like you said, I have given him some stick in the past and I've been unimpressed with him. And when he came on for that first game back, I was a bit, oh God, But he's been a different player, and I think it's right that he keeps that place, because if he was to play well and then get dropped then that would just have such a bad effect on his confidence. He's going to wonder what the hell he's done wrong, considering he had such great games. It's not like he played poorly and deserved to lose that shirt. So I'm happy he's getting a good run in the team, because he did sort of become sort of the forgotten man, the past few seasons.
For sure. Maybe
Dennis is right there. He's found his level. But he's playing well while he's got the chance, and long may it continue, I suppose.
Yeah. Obviously, Josh Emmanuel starts for Hull, a player that we could have had playing at right back instead of Luke Chambers, a player that's now making the positive progression. You hope, as a Town fan, sadly that's gone, but Miles Kenlock maybe can now follow and be a bit of a late developer in terms of development and be a decent player. Looking at the whole side, Callum Elder, also a face we may remember. George Honeyman, their captain, starts 13 assists this season for George Honeyman. Neil?
13 more than any of our players?
13 more than... I don't mean 13 more. Have you seen us play, Neil? Assists?
Yeah.
No. We don't create goals. Come on, we know that. I mean, I
actually... supposed to score goals, are you?
Well, that is the aim of the game.
Oh.
They do tell me that. So I thought he may have been injured. Someone said last night in the chat he was injured. So no, he's not. No, he starts. I'm interested to see how Josh Manuel plays. I know it's not the most glamorous of positions, Steve, but I'm intrigued to see just how he has progressed away from Portman Road.
Yeah, he never really got that career at Portman Road, did he? He was out on loan and never got the starts or anything like that. When he was here, he looked okay from what I saw of him. Nothing really spectacular. So I wasn't overly bothered when he moved on. And now I'm a little bit jealous because he's doing so well with Hull. And it's that running the team, confidence booster. He's doing all right for himself. So I'm fair play to him. It'll be interesting to see how he gets on tonight.
Absolutely. A few comments. Got Mike D. Kenlock is only in because he has legs. A decent side wouldn't have him. Michael Finch, get bodies and balls into the box and you'll score goals. Facebook user, you can see that Kenlock is a massive confidence player and he's won our games. Facebook user, interesting one, this one. Andre will play a higher league without a doubt. The more I see him, the less I believe that. Maybe that's just me and my footballing opinion, and that's not really worth a lot. But do you see him playing at a high level currently in the run of form he's in, Neil?
Well, I see Downs was really bigged up. And after we played, was it Fulham in the Cup? And he looked really bang average. And Downs is better than Dazelle. So if Downs is going to struggle at a higher level, I can't see Dazelle doing any better.
Okay. Mike Brown, stop their supply, you stifle Hull. That is a true statement, but that also leads me to think that's, again, what this team is missing, Steve. George Honeyman, 13 assists. Ideally, you'd want somebody, a bit of a Gerard Indoor, a bit of a hard, nasty bastard. Just go and let him know first 5-10 minutes you're in a game today, George. I watched Endor do that to Cole Henry at Molineux. Cole Henry was this famous hard man on the pitch, and Endor put him in the air within 30 seconds and said, well, you might be hard, but I'm harder, and this is my playground today. We haven't got that in this side.
We don't seem to have anyone like that. I mean, Norwood gets in and around and he bothers defences and he pisses off defences, but he's not a bully. The only one we have who can sort of get in and get a bit snappy at their heels is Downs. Sometimes he goes in a bit too heavy. He needs someone to get in there and have a bit of a nibble. I can't see Bishop doing that. I can't see Dazelle doing that.
Bishop would injure himself, let's be honest. The Bishop just doesn't need to do that. ITFC, Skuse would deal with him.
No, he couldn't keep up.
No.
Skuse can't finish his dinner, let's be honest. Elliot, Andre would look better with the players making decent runs. Unfortunately, doesn't offer enough of the side of the game. Absolutely. I want to give a big shout out to Tom Tomlin, who is watching us from hospital. Tom, I wish you all the best. Get well soon, my friend, and hope to see you back in the chat very, very soon. It's 2 minutes to bowl prediction time before I bring in our guest, Mr. Stuart Slater, and the Cruncher, Pat Cruncher. So, bowl predictions, guys. What are we thinking? Neil, kick us off.
1-0 defeat.
That low? Okay,
exactly. That's why it's bold.
I'm going to go 2-0 defeat.
2-0 defeat. I mean, they're both bold because I think they're rather low. Now, you know me. I'm balanced and I'm positive. So I'm going to say a 3-1 Town win.
What?
That's It's a dream factory.
I've got more chance of a beer turning up in a minute after asking 4 times. Because before we went live, when at Steve, I was saying, I'll have a beer in a minute. I was getting louder, and it's still not arrived. It's still not arrived. In the chat, we've got Callie, 2-1 Town. Michael Finch, 3-0 defeat. Tony Mann said the other day was too soft. That plays out there taking charge. 4 or 5 to Hull, says Tony. Eric says 2-1 Town. Teams are out, so I will bring in Pat Cruncher and guest Mr. Stuart Slater. Welcome in, Stuart. Welcome in, Crunch. How are you all doing?
Evening. All good. Can you hear me?
Yeah, very well, thank you. Stuart, how are you? Oh, Stuart, we can't hear you.
I nicely blocked out my face there, Martin, with the team sheet.
I'm sorting it out in a minute. Give me a second. I've only got one pair of hands.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, that's good.
That's better.
Perfect. I'm just going to get a beer. Crunch, you can take charge for a second.
How you doing, Stu?
Yeah, all good, thanks, Crunch. Yeah, all right. You're not bad.
Have you watched many Town games this season?
No, unfortunately not. No, not at all.
Well, I think fortunately, you're quite lucky because we're hopefully tonight we might put in a performance. Hopefully.
Yeah, I mean, after speaking to you last sort of week, really, obviously I haven't really, I used to be a Town follower when I grew up.
You're born in Sudbury, weren't you? Born in Sudbury.
Yeah. So I went 78 and 81. We were there. My family were obviously. So we had season tickets, and then obviously left. And then I went to West Ham, and then came back and played. And when I left, I was just so disappointed the way I left. I don't think I was so disappointed with myself and the club that, it sort of put me in a different position with the club at the time. I don't know why, but obviously since I spoke to you and been back on social media the last couple of
you left when Burley come in, didn't he?
Yeah.
Because you played a little bit of, I think you played did you play about 17, 18 games of his, the first season when we got relegated? We were in the first division, weren't we?
Yeah. Yeah, we were. Yeah, that's it. Yeah, I was with him a little bit. Yeah.
With the kit that Steve's got on. That shirt.
Yeah, lovely.
It's a good shirt, isn't it? The Green King.
Yeah,
good shirt.
That was one.
Yeah.
My favourite.
Perfect.
Nothing's happening. A minute gone and not a lot happened so far.
There's nothing really happened.
No,
nothing's happening.
I'm not watching it, unfortunately.
No, don't worry. So what happened with George? What happened with George then?
Well, as I said, looking back on it, at the time I was sort of, really hurt for the club, really. They offered me a 2-year deal. And I knew at the time that the club didn't really want me. George didn't really fancy me as a player. I think he had his own philosophy, and new managers come in and they had better ideas. And to be fair, George done really well, and he'd done really well for the youngsters. But at the time, I was more of a senior player with Marshy, Sedgley, Paul Mason. And I don't think he realised, knew how to treat the senior players. I wasn't a senior player, but obviously had a career before Ipswich. But the way his man management at that time, he didn't talk. All he just wanted to do was bin us out the team and bin us out the club without explaining it, talking to us, and just bringing the youngsters through. So at the end of the day, you're 27-year human being, and there's a way of, talking and communicating with somebody. And, as I said, they offered me a 2-year deal, but I knew that it wasn't from him. There was interest from Southampton at the time, and they wanted a bit of money for me. So I didn't sign, and I was on a week-to-week. And I remember my good friend, Tony Mowbray, just saying, just sign it. It gives you a bit of security. I was a bit stubborn because I knew that George, he didn't do nothing for me. And, obviously that was then. Now I understand why he did it, because, if you were injured and you weren't in the side, he wanted his own players in. At the time, I didn't understand. So I didn't sign that deal. And I was on a week-to-week, came back for pre-season, did a week of pre-season, 2 weeks of pre-season, and then I done my Achilles. Went to see the physio and the surgeon, and they said I was going to be out for 12 weeks, 14 weeks. So then the following day, George Kelly, I had an offer, right to this office, and he said, "We're letting you go now." And I'm like, "Oh, okay. We only have to pay you 2 weeks' wages." So it was my if I'd have signed that 2-year deal, I would have had a little bit of security. I'd have still been at Ipswich. The club might have got a bit of money if I'd got myself fit, but they realised, hang on a minute, we're going to pay Stuart 12 weeks and he ain't going to be in the first team at all, or with the first team. But it was the whole thing about George Burley, the way when he came in, the way he tried to get us all out straight away, the way he didn't communicate, the way.
I think, Martin, you interviewed Marshy, didn't you? You done it, yeah. And he sort of said about like him, Sedgley. He sort of wanted to sort of, because I think always remember you didn't play in the 9-0, did you? At Man U.
I did.
Did you play? Were you in? Because I always remember Marshy when he says that George said about bringing him on. Was it 6 or 7-0 down? And he's like, "What the fuck do you expect me to do?"
Yeah, he said he was hiding behind the hoardings, and he was like, "I'm not going on. I'm not going on."
I think that was brilliant. Mason as well. Mason was there as well, I think. But yeah, I had Chelsea down my side. Steve Palmer had Giggs down on his side. We had Tom O'Neill. So we weren't blessed with that blistering pace at the time. I mean, initially I was when I was at West Ham, but I lost a little bit of pace after my injuries. So I had Chelsea's, me and Tom had Chelsea's down one side. Palms and I think Mick Stockwell had Giggsy down the side. And it was just, and then I think it was Linney and Walkie had Coley and was it Kent? No, I don't know. It's just, you know, it was
I think Mark Hughes was playing with it.
Mark Hughes, yeah.
I think he was in.
But I can remember the first goal because I think on the Monday or Tuesday we had to relive it. George put the replay on for us, you know, so we'd done the training in the morning and in the afternoon we had to watch the game back. And I got blamed for the first goal by turning me back. So I always remember.
Was it Roy Keane? Keane scored there first.
Yeah. I turned me back. I went to close it down and I turned me back. And once again, Georgie wasn't my favourite. I mean, obviously, I've got so much respect for him as a player and what he did as a manager. But the way he treated us at that time, I didn't think, you know, it was poor man management at the time, you know, and he needed to learn a little bit more about that at the time. But I was, you know, as I said, I respect him. What a great play was for Ipswich. But yeah, he didn't learn his lesson. We went up to Old Trafford, I think, a year before that with John Lyle, and I don't think we played with any strikers. I think I played wide left.
Was that the 0-0? Was that the 0-0 going?
Yeah. Yeah, and John knew that if we went expansive, we'd get beat. And Georgie, obviously, was only 6 months into his manager. Yeah, we could go 4-4-2. We got no pace at the back, no pace at the sides with me or anything. You know, we could be more expensive. And, you know, a year down the line, we ended up getting beat 9-0. So, yeah.
Yeah.
So I was disappointed, to be honest. Yeah, so I was disappointed the way I left the club. And I take a lot of responsibility now. Looking back, as I said, I can understand why George probably did it. You know, he saved the club a bit of money, but I knew they were using me. Didn't really want me at the time. But yeah, I was disillusioned with the club because I supported them. I went there as a 9-year-old. I played for them. That was my boyhood thing to do that. I wanted to play for the Town at probably the end of my career, really, because I knew. That's why I chose West Ham over Ipswich initially, because I've living in Suffolk at the time or living in London. If you weren't to do well at Ipswich, scouts, agents, other clubs, they'd rather be in London, where it's locally, where you know you can get around London. You've got to go to Ipswich. You've got to go 2.5 hours there, 2.5 hours back. Watch your game. A lot of people go, no, I won't do that. So obviously, privileged to play for the Town. Loved playing for the Town, but yeah, I knew that if things weren't to go well, your career could suffer. And you know, at 26, you know, obviously I hadn't played. I was playing in the reserves with Currie over at Bury St Edmunds, and you won't get many people coming to watch you.
No.
Who's that? I've got a question here for you. It's from Mike D. Stuart, who is the best player you played with at Town?
Ah, dear. We had some not bad players, but I mean the legendary is Johnny Walk. Johnny Walk was just, I mean, I saw him right at the end of his career. I saw him when I was a fan, but to play with him after seeing him when I was a young kid and then to play with him. I mean, if you'd played with him at Air Tennis, I'd love to have seen him in his prime, but head tennis. We used to play head tennis all the time. You couldn't beat him. He was just magnificent. Morgie was. So, albeit it was right at the end of his career, he's an absolute legend at the club. And I got on really well with him. But, you know, you had Milks was an underrated player. He was a skillful player. Chrissy Kawamia did really well at a good time. You had Boncho Genchev. You had Klaus Thompson. You had some decent players. And I was fortunate enough to play with Dozell as a Sunday, Jason Dozell, in my Sunday football for 4 years. Me and Doz go back a long way, and what a player he was. But I never actually played with him at the Town.
Because he went, didn't he? He went when did you sign, and then he went to Spurs, didn't he?
He went to Spurs, yeah, and I signed after it, yeah. So I was ashamed because obviously, you know, I knew him really well from my Sunday football, and you know,
I was watching earlier, Stuart. I was watching the. Do you remember the FA Cup game against Spurs when we beat them 3-0?
Yeah.
I was watching that. It was on YouTube earlier because I didn't know if you were playing in that. I was watching. I'd see the highlights of that, and then the Norwich game when we beat them 2-1 when Megson scored the own goal.
Yes,
in the last minute.
In that one, yeah,
that was a good day, wasn't it?
Happy days, that one for the fans, wasn't it? Eh?
Yeah, very good.
Big one for the fans. You know,
we started all right.
So, I mean,
doing not bad so far, is it?
Yeah. Is he half decent at Andre then? Because obviously I've heard reports about. I've never seen him play. Andre.
Martin's not his biggest fan. I think he's a talented player, but I think at the minute that we're all suffering because we're not playing very well, are we?
No.
And we're all struggling.
Has he done well, Keenan Bennett's?
He's just come back from injury, isn't
he? Yeah, I like him. I think he's a decent player.
He played in my son's. I had him at under-8s and under-9s over in the Watford area because obviously Watford was my last pro club. So I stayed in the Watford area for a long time. And I had him with a couple of other boys that went to Tottenham. So we had a really good sort of six-side at the time, under-8s, under-9s. But he was playing then, Keenan Bennett. Then.
He doesn't look too bad. Oh, yeah. Doesn't look too bad. There's a few little things, like we said earlier, he'll sort of maybe run a bit too long with the ball. But, yeah, he's all right.
It's a shot on goal, then.
It's the beauty of us being fans, though, isn't it? We've all got opinions.
Yeah.
a lot of questions coming in.
We've all got opinions.
Do you still live locally, Stuart?
I've come back to see my mum and stuff. We lost Dad about 1.5 years ago. And obviously lockdown, when lockdown came, I was living in the Essex area with my partner, but I've come back to support my mum through lockdown. So, yeah, I'm not far from the Sudbury area. I'm just outside Sudbury now. I'm in the Glemstead area.
So, which was your first club then? If you're locally was it Long Melford, or as a boy, what was your first club?
I was at West Ham obviously when I was a kid. So I was training at Ipswich under 9s with Alan Hunter and Alan Hunter and it was, I think, Mickey. I'm not sure if it was Mickey Lambert, but Alan Hunter definitely under 9s. I was there for 2 years. We trained, and then Bobby Robertson was there. They were 11 and 12. Bobby Robertson was offering me an apprenticeship and a pro contract even then at 12.
Wow.
But when I ended up playing for Langham Lions, West Ham came and obviously looked at me and what they offer. I mean, I was training with the first team at 12 and 13 and 14 when I was going down there. So I had to make a decision at 13, 14. And like I explained just earlier on, Ipswich, I love Suffolk. I'm a Suffolk boy. I'm born and bred Suffolk. I love watching Ipswich. Ipswich is a fantastic side in the 70s and 80s. Got an unbelievable affiliation with the club, even now, though obviously it's only rekindled since Crunch has come, spoke to me a little bit because obviously a lot of my local people in Suffolk are Ipswich fans. But the reason I chose West Ham was the simple reason what I gave you before, that there's more chance if you get released at West Ham at 16, 17 that another London club will take you on. As I said, at Ipswich, we're in the boonies. I know a lot of people were scouts. A lot of people scouts wouldn't go, hang a minute, I've got to travel 2.5 hours to go and watch a game, 2.5 hours back. I said, it's a whole day. I'd rather go in London and watch a local game sort of thing, So that was a big reasoning in my signing for West Ham.
You still do some work there, don't you, on a match day now?
Yeah, I'm still an ambassador for the club. So where my allegiances, affiliation with Ipswich. I've had 30 years with West Ham now. Player, youth team play, coach, academy coach, and ambassador for the club, get invited everywhere. So, yeah, I've had 30 years with the club.
I was going to ask you, Stuart. I was going to ask you about, so you do the hospitality there. I think Upton Park was one of my favourite grounds. I always remember going there. I don't know if you two went to the playoff when we lost 2-0 in the playoffs when Joe Royle was there. And that was probably the best atmosphere that night. And I just think it's sad when, I know why they've obviously moved to the Olympic Stadium because it's obviously, they want to get bigger. But I think Upton Park, you've obviously played there. It's like a fantastic stadium. And I think...
Go! Norwood.
1-0.
Oh, 1-0 Town.
2-2.
Ipswich.
Town,
1-0. James Norwood.
Eh?
The man bun.
Has he got man bun?
He's got a man bun on his head. Yeah, that's a great finish, though. That is, to be fair. That's a long raking ball from Miles, the best player on the pitch, Kenlock.
Miles Kenlock, my boy.
One bounce. Norwood. Keeper. Why do goalies do that, man? He's only one location he's put in that ball. He ain't going that side. He's always gonna go back across your face. 1-0. Happy days, Crunch.
Brilliant. I thought you'd be jumping up and down, boys. I'm not watching it.
This is how flat it is, Stu, because we're not really doing a lot at the minute, and it's really a struggle.
Well, obviously listening to you. Obviously I'm asking you questions where you are. You're all not a Lambert fans then at the minute.
Not so much.
No.
Is that
Paul Lambert for me? We can hear banging away in the dugout.
I think it's my missus. My missus has put a picture up in the toilet. Or she's celebrating because she might be celebrating because Norwood scored. I don't know. Where's Lee Anderson anyway? I thought he'd be in the chat, Martin, because he's a big Norwood. Oh, there he is. Look, I'll rest my case. Sorry, Lee. Good finish.
I want to know if Hawks in Lowestoft saw right with his windows, mate. Because
I'm sure he'll be somewhere.
It's happening. That's a good goal, to be fair. A really good goal. So I think I saw someone asked earlier, Stuart, what was the best goal that you ever scored?
Well, I didn't score too many goals at Ipswich throughout my career, so I saw that one on goal of season.
Southampton. That looks a bit cold. It was a bit cold that night, wasn't it?
Yeah,
freezing.
Was it Southampton? But
Sheffield United.
I showed it to my son. Sheffield United, yeah. And I showed my son. He said, "Is that it? Was that goal of season?" I said, "I don't think a lot happened in that season either. I don't think we scored too many goals that season either."
I bet he said you couldn't have done it.
Sorry, yeah. I scored against Chelsea, I think it was, at home as well.
Yeah, I see that earlier.
Yeah.
The pitch was awful. I think your best goal, not for Ipswich, I think your best goal for West Ham was the game against Everton in the FA Cup.
Yeah, I think I've lived off that for the last 30 years.
Yeah.
I've lived off that, the quarterfinals and the way I played that game. So, yeah.
Martin's too young he can't remember that up the top. These two up the top, they ain't got a clue, Stu. I'm a bit older than them.
I'm a baby, you see.
What era are you guys in? Are you the 2000 Matty Holland and all that?
Yeah, I was born in '89, so definitely that was when I was really sort of coming into it, I suppose.
Yeah,
I remember
I used to clean my boots at Ipswich, West Ham. Sorry, at West Ham.
Oh wow!
Yeah.
My dad was obviously a big Town fan, and we had all the season review tapes. So on a Saturday morning, me and my brother used to pretend we were the players in the living room while they were having a lie-in, and it was so. I've grown up watching like Neil Thompson's Thunderbolt at Southend, and so I've known the era and known the Lyle times and things like that. But when I started, it was really just before sort of 2000, I guess. Yeah.
I think it was similar. I was early 90s. I was born, so I can remember sort of the Birdie era, Wembley 2000, that sort of thing, and then into the noughties. That's probably my first.
He's held quite high up, though. As a manager, George has done well for the club, though, didn't he? Everyone would hold him quite high up. Yeah.
Yeah.
Him up the top there, he's not very happy, Martin, because he thinks when we went down when you played, you think we should have stayed up, don't you, Martin?
I do. I 100% do. Yeah, I do. The squad wasn't as bad as people try and make it out to be now.
I was watching that game today, Stu, when you scored against Chelsea, and that was Lee Chapman's debut. He come on.
Lee Chapman here. Bless him. He got around everywhere. I played with him at West Ham. I played with him at Ipswich. I think he had more clubs than, Tiger Woods, didn't he? Something like that.
He didn't play many. He didn't play many games for us, did he? I think he only about half a season. I think he came at the end of that season and he played a few games at the start of the next one, I think. And then he sort of.
I think he did that.
Because did you play with Maffey? You must have played with Alex Maffey then.
Yeah, played with Alex. Yeah, Alex right at the end. Yeah, for a good 6 months to a year. Yeah, so decent goal scorer, wasn't he, Alex?
Yeah, Maffey and Marshall.
We got Elliot Leader.
Big Marshy.
Elliot was born in the 90s. First game was QPR. I'd love to know what your first games were in the chat, guys. Let us know in the chat what your first games were, first memories of town. But yeah, having spoken to ex-players, I won't say any names. A few have said that year we went down was tactical naivety being a major problem, and the squad was a little bit hang out to dry, which is why I'm of the opinion, Crunch, that I am about Burley. But then ex-players will, if they won't want to say they were bad, will they? So let's be honest. So
when did they go down with Burley with that squad?
That was 94, 95, wasn't it?
That was our one. Yeah, did he? Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Because really, you think should any team really lose 9-0? I know Southampton have lost twice 9-0 late. Should you really be losing 9-0?
Did you see Paul Ince's goal though? Craig
wouldn't count nowadays. Wouldn't count with it.
Craig Forrest is still getting booked from the referee, so obviously he's booking him, and then they're taking a quick one. And no, you shouldn't really. But this is where I was saying about John Lyle and George Burley at the time. George was just managerial for 6 months. I think he had 6 months at Colchester, and then obviously, hang on a minute, thought we could be expensive against Man United. That would never happen now. I mean, it did happen the other day, but I mean, if you've got a wily manager like John Lyle going, hang on a minute, we're probably not going to be good enough. We can't be expensive enough. Let's play a 4-5. I remember when Adam Tanner scored against us at Liverpool. Are we the only Ipswich side to win at Liverpool at the time, or we got two now?
That was the first time we'd ever won there. We won under Burley in 2001, didn't we? Yeah. 2000.
Yeah. So, but all the years that they've been there. But once again, we didn't play with a striker. I don't think it was. I think we played with a wide player. So yeah, there is a way. I mean, obviously, if you play these good sides now, better sides, and teams that have got good offensive players that are going to hurt you, you set up accordingly now.
Is that what you senior players felt at the time after the 9-0? That it was a bit of a tactical naivety, that it wasn't individual performance as such. It was more a tactical issue.
I can remember, as I said, we weren't blessed with pace at the back. We weren't blessed with pace in the middle, pace all over. So I'm looking at. I can remember Walkie having a fitness test on the day of a game. So we got Walkie, we got Dave Linnigan, we got Tomo, we got me, we got Georgie Williams. I think we got Palms. I don't know.
Frank Yallop played. Frank played, didn't he?
Yallop did, yeah.
Frank played.
Yeah, they were all over 30 at the back. Obviously, midfield, we weren't the quickest. So, don't be quite expensive. Play 4-4-2 against a side that have got unbelievable pace, and you haven't got no pace whatsoever. You might have to go, 5 at the back, 4 in midfield, and 1 float, or whatever, or 4-5-1, or whatever. But you don't become 2 wide players, and go for it, really. So I think we did feel at that time that, hang on a minute, Walkie's having a fitness test. He's 30, 35, 36 against Coley and Hughesy. If he's not right, God, dear, we can't. You've got to have a bit of pace all over the park.
Yeah. One of the outstanding highlights has to be sort of Giggs just running through everybody and nobody able to get near him. I think pace was a major one, as you've said. I've got some games in the chat. Adam Flapp's first game was Wimbledon 2-1. September 92, Stockwell with 2, Vinnie Jones for the Dons. Bill Case was in Sunderland 1998. Sunderland had Gates. Andrew's first game was Salonika in 1980, 3 Wraith Rovers. Nice, I like that. That's an interesting one. Tom James 0-0 at home to Chelsea in 02. A sign of things to come. That we drew with Chelsea. I think that we're currently beating Hull and looking all right for our win, but it's not Chelsea, is it?
Should have won that game, Martin, against Chelsea. I think that's the one when Marcus Bent missed the penalty.
Yeah, probably was. I can't remember. It doesn't stand out to me. So I've got the Chelsea 3-1 defeat in my head at the moment with Alex Bruce scoring right in front of us.
FA Cup.
That was a good moment. Nick, is that your dog there, Crunch?
Yeah, I don't know what he's doing. Let him bark.
It's normally mine. Nick Muller, Ipswich debut, Ipswich 2, Coventry 0. I'm just going to have a picture of Jason Dazelle holding his son Andre. Andre now in the first team. Weird watching that pitch. Steve, talk to me about this game so far. Have you enjoyed it?
It's not looking too bad. I wonder where this intensity's been all season.
It's a team playing for its manager, Steve.
Yeah, in some ways, I almost don't want to see that, but I like it. Apart from that, a good chance there to go 2-0. I don't know what went wrong there, but I'm quite impressed so far. Pleasantly surprised so far.
Final ball in the box again. That's what the problem was there. No, we played all right so far. I know I called Miles the best player on the pitch, Kenlock, earlier. I'll stick by that nickname there now, Crunch. That's what his name is from now on in. Miles, best player on the pitch, Kenlock.
Let's not get carried away.
Let's not get
carried away.
Trust you not to get carried away, eh, Crunch, wearing a bucket out saying 100 points, 100 goals.
What I want to know is why are we wearing this kit, Martin?
I don't.
Why can't we wear the home kit?
Contractually, I suppose, isn't it?
There's no clash or anything. Crazy.
I've got no idea. Go. Sorry.
Peterborough, are they winning, guys? Are they?
I believe so. I know Burton have just equalised at Charlton.
1-1.
Matt Stannard, we seem to like not playing up from the back, don't we? We're not going to play out the back with Toto and James Wilson as your 2 centre halves, are you? Crunch. You're not going to. You don't expect James Wilson to be playing tick-a-tack football, do you?
No, they don't. Look, I said on Sunday, he's all right for this league. He does. You don't need John Stones. You're playing in League One, Martin. You don't need these fancy football and knocking it backwards and forwards across the pitch. There's your man Bennett.
That sums up Bennett. That does. Beats a man. Your bum leaves the seat, and then the ball in the box is about 8 foot over here, and it's like, come on, Keenan, you're better than that. But that's what I like about him, Steve. He's beat the man, and you do start to get off your seat. You start to think, something might happen here.
There is that excitement, isn't there? You think, this could be it, and then he'll run himself into trouble.
Or he'll just do what he did there.
Yeah,
he'll play for the throw-in, forgetting he's not playing rugby.
Yeah, there's a few things to learn on that one. He's great with his feet, and he's a good footballer, but so often he'll just run himself into trouble or out of room.
Yeah.
Or like you say, out for the throw-in.
So are they still looking good then? Are they still looking
good?
Yeah.
I think they're better out of the 2 teams so far.
They've not had a shot yet, have they?
No.
See, they've played 3 more games than us.
Yeah.
I know they're on 53 points and we're on 41, but you think we win tonight? Well, still there's a long way to go, but I was surprised Honeyman was playing mine. I was surprised Honeyman was playing. I thought he was injured. Peterborough.
Yeah, obviously I've got a protege there, Joe Ward, who came from my little programme, and I had him at 15 years of age. And I took him to Ipswich. I brought him to Ipswich. And obviously Mick McCarthy was there at the time, and it didn't really work out for him. But he's gone on really well and done really well for Peterborough. So he gives me some passes to watch the games, because obviously I speak to him twice a week. Obviously he classes.
I think did he score against us, Stuart, the other week with a free kick? I think that was.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's from Chelmsford boy. I offered him to Ipswich, I don't know, 3-4 years ago. Just thinking that he's got an opportunity, but he's got the most assists in League One at the minute. So I've watched a few of their games, and if they're in the top 2, and I hear. I mean, I hear. I don't see what Ipswich. I can't see that. Them being miles ahead of everyone, because obviously I've seen a couple of games and they've been battered a couple of times.
He's got to bury it.
Very, very nearly
got to score. Oh, what was Andre doing there?
That was almost Andre's first assist of the season.
What's happened here? Corner, miskicked it. Oh, he's got to score. He has to score there.
Andre nearly got his assist there, Steve.
Yeah, I agree with you, Stuart. The league isn't that good, is it? Really?
No. I would have thought. As I said, you're on 41 points, and I mean, I don't think there's a lot in it in that league. I don't think doesn't seem like an outstanding side. Obviously, the bigger clubs like Sunderland and Portsmouth have struggled. Portsmouth struggled, haven't they, just recently? I think.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. But we haven't won back-to-back games since October, so there's your problem. You need to win 2 or 3 games to get up this league, and we just don't do it.
What is the problem then? Do you think? Is it? Yeah, it's a scruffy league. Have you got a win ugly?
Injuries.
A little bit of quality.
We don't
score a little bit of quality.
We don't score enough goals, do we?
No, we don't have enough players fit. You know what I mean? Like we've not. I mean, Jackson's obviously in the doghouse now, but Norwood's been injured most of the season. Jackson's been injured or not picked or suspended. Like injuries haven't really helped us. And I know you don't like the guy crunch, but if we hold on to this result today, 4 points from Oxford and Hull, you've got to be honest. That's not something you would ever have thought would have happened.
Not really. It's consistency in this league, but to get up the league. Where will we go tonight? Probably up, maybe 10th.
Nosebleed.
But to get anywhere, Martin, we have to win 3 or 4. We've got to put back-to-back wins together, and then another win, and then another win, and then you never know what happens, do you? Really, because this is probably why Paul Lambert's still in a job, because Marcus looks at the league and thinks we're not that far off the playoffs. Like he said Saturday, we're still right in the mix, and we all sort of laughed, didn't we, when he said that on Saturday? We're still in the mix and we're 12th. But when you look at the league table, we're not that far off. But I still don't think we're good enough to get in the playoffs. I'll be really surprised.
Well, it's currently 31 minutes into a game. I've got to be honest. I know it's a 3-1 as a bold prediction, but that's just my town hat on. Really, I thought it was going to be one-way traffic, and so far it has not been one-way traffic. If it has, it's been in our favour. We've played really well here, and the difference was on Saturday, Norwood didn't take that chance. Tonight he has taken it, and
that was good.
So far,
sort of redeemed himself for that one.
Yes, it looked all right. Someone asked earlier what formation we playing. I think we're playing a 4-3-1 by the looks of it. Certainly Norwood up front on his own, and then you've got it is Parrott just behind him there, Crunch, and then
I think so. Yeah, Judges on the left. I think I heard you in the pre-match show. He's wasted out there, isn't he, Judge?
Yeah, I don't think he's got a position anywhere though. To be honest, has he? That's the problem. You play him centrally, he's not consistently good enough. Playing wide, he's not good enough. Like, as I said earlier, I've watched every game since August. I can count on one hand how many times I've seen him play well. That's an issue when he's played near enough every game.
I think when you play wide, I mean, obviously I was a striker when I grew up at West Ham and all that, and I got put wide. But I think when you play wide, though, very difficult to influence your performance. You have to rely on people giving you the ball, especially if you're judged on what you do with the ball. You need to get the ball, and you can easily be marked. I mean, obviously you can get a right midfield player if I was playing left wing, and a right back, and it'd be very difficult. People won't give you the ball. So sometimes when you play wide, it's very difficult to influence your own performance.
Yeah. And a lot of times you play without the ball, don't you? Oh, holy, what the flip, man.
You're a little bit ahead of me, Martin, on your feed.
I'm always ahead of you, Crunch. Don't worry about that, son.
He done all right there. There's not a bad punch. Done all right.
But no, still makes me nervous. Still makes me nervous,
always,
that guy.
What, Count Dracula, without a doubt. But back to what you're saying there, Stuart. Yeah, you're right. I mean, wingers play without the ball, 75% of the time? A lot of it is work rate and wanting the ball.
You do. But generally, you can tend to, well, dare I say, I mean, I've been in coaching for the last sort of 20, 30 years since I've left the game, and I've studied the game. you can pick those players up, quite often. The hard workers, the grafters, the guys that break up play. There are quite a few of them around. So it's the ones that are going to open the door up, and that's where I think, where we're talking about this Joe Ward. He's a right wing back or right, he just gets the ball and he'll put an unbelievable delivery in. His end product's decent, so he's a little bit different from the people that have to work. That should be a given anyway, no matter what. For 75% of the game, 80% of the game, like you were saying, the work ethic should be there, the shape should be there, bits and pieces. But if you're a forward or a wide player, generally you're judged on what you do with the ball. Defenders not really judged on what they do with the ball. Holding midfield player not judged on what he does with the ball. So, Declan Rice has done brilliant for West Ham. If he scores goals, happy days. But he will get 7 out, 8 out of 10 all day long because he just breaks up the play and gives it. And he's better than that as well. But there are players out there, and he's.
Do you think West Ham will keep hold of him? Stu, Declan Rice?
That's $1 million question. I think, as I said, he's got an affinity with the club and the fans. I think if you can get in the top 4, which is a massive ask, absolute massive ask, that might help him. I mean, Frank leaving Chelsea was a big one because I think had Frank been at Chelsea, I think he would have gone to Chelsea, definitely. Him not being there now might be a little bit different, but when you've got Man United's coming along and the top boys coming along, it's very difficult to not turn your head, definitely. So be a different, but he's got captaincy. He's going to start every game, play every game. Fans worship him. So depends on the.
That's a dreadful free kick. What was that? He just passed it straight to him. Play him. Oh, for fuck's sake. Was that Parrott?
I think it was, yeah.
I
think it was.
Bad decision, wasn't it? Simple ball.
I tell you what, Miles Kenlock is he's playing this game at a different speed to everybody else.
He's brilliant. I always said that. I never doubted him.
He's really playing this game at a different speed. Like there, he just nips in. He read that, and then he releases it. He tried to beat a man earlier. Even your dog agrees there.
Big fan. You've got Jarrod Bowen, didn't you, at West Ham, Stu? He was at Hull, wasn't he? He's made a step up. He's a good player.
He's done well, really well. He's been really decent. In the year and a bit that we've had him, I think he's been outstanding. Once again, probably a hard-working player, but he's got a little bit of flair. And he's adapted really well from the championship. Well, championship, yeah, it was championship. We brought him from last year. So done really well. But Brian McCann, I mean, obviously, he was at West Ham quite a bit, and I would have thought, they've had a good start in Hull. It's just the last sort of couple of games that they've sort of faltered a little bit in it, a few games.
Yeah, I think they've only got 1 win in 5, haven't they?
Is it 1 win in 5? Yeah.
Yeah, 3-1 up Saturday at Doncaster and threw it away. But they've played more games, Brian. That's what I'm saying. This is their 31st game of the season. Everyone else has got 2 and 3 games in hand, so they're third at the minute. I know you'd rather have the points on the board, wouldn't you, really? I think it's... But if you're watching this game, you would never know that they're third and we're 12th.
Yeah.
Really? Around, isn't it, really?
Yeah, we're playing really well.
Steady on now, guys.
No, come on.
5-year contract.
What's Marcus Evans? Is his involvement still strong or?
Well, hopefully it's getting less in the next coming weeks as he sells the club. Hopefully, because there's talk of him selling the club to an American consortium. So, I mean,
how strong is that? Is that quite strong?
Not strong enough, sadly. Who knows? We've got another guest with us. We've got King Callie. Welcoming King Callie. How you doing?
Callie.
Norwood meant to cross that. It weren't a shot. You crossed it.
Come on. Come on. You got to give him a bit of credit.
No, I'll give him credit, even if he's got a ridiculous man bun on. But you know what?
Yeah.
Maybe we need Stuart Slater on every match. We get a win.
Yeah, good idea.
I'll tell you what, yeah. Like Young
mascot.
I'm all for that. All for that. Bruce,
I thought you'd have bought him a pass so he could actually watch the game.
Well, no one
I was going to buy. I was nearly debating on Peterborough. The lad normally gives me a Peterborough one.
Oh, come on.
All right, see you later, Stuart. Cheers, mate. I'm not having that. Not having that on my I don't care who you are, how many games you played for Town.
Now I'm living in Suffolk a little bit. I mean, I know that I'm surrounded by Ipswich supporters. So, yeah, once we can get the fans going again, I think I could maybe nip in to watch a couple of games.
So you're just right down the road from Clare. You're near Clare, aren't you?
Yeah, not far from Clare, yeah.
So my mum and dad live in Bumstead. Do you know Steeple Bumstead? Ever been there?
Yeah. Oh, okay.
Yeah, because when we used to go to the game, we obviously went through Cavendish, Melford. We used to go that way, the back way.
All right.
It's nice. It's nice out that way.
Yeah, it's nice. Yes, relaxing and
Elliot says, "Eat your hat, Callie." And
if we win, it comes off. If we win, it comes off.
All right. And Bruce Air asks, "I know the score, but can you tell me how? Can you tell me how we're playing, Callie?"
Hold on. They're running out of at the moment.
Keenan Bennett again. No, looking dangerous.
Oh, it's it. Shoot.
So I just made a silly tackle.
Got to hit the ball.
Oh, what a tackle, Toto! Love he got a free kick.
Yeah, he did connect with him, didn't he?
Yeah, that's a foul.
But no, just rewind that play back. If you rewind that play back, why has Bennett's gone across the box? Why has he not had a shot?
That was a decent shot, though.
Yeah, it was 6 yards out. Bang it.
You're not going to book him for that. Oh, referee.
Oh, that was he got the ball.
Hang on.
Yeah, he took the man first.
That is a great tackle.
No, he's got the man.
No, the man has.
He's taken him out.
The man has hurdled over him. If you hurdle over somebody, that's your own. Like that's no. But yeah, Bennett should have shot. You're absolutely right.
We're playing well. Yeah. We're playing well, but like we were winning 1-0 against Peterborough and we lost 2-1. But we had the Rugrats at the back, so who knows? Wilson back.
It takes it out of the chat with them sort of comments, Martin. I'm not having that. Found the just for men, cheeky bastard.
He is right though. That's how you know you've got good guests coming on. Crunch is 10 years younger.
I need a bloody haircut. Is it the 12th of April? We can get a haircut. I think it's then, isn't it?
So, terrible. How are we playing, Callie? Tell us how we're playing.
We're playing better. We're playing a lot better. No, Norwood's got. I think Norwood's in the tweets, and he's like, "Yeah, I got to get on top of it today." He watches the show clearly. But yeah, we do start off well in the last couple of games. We started off well without any threat or any goal. So we've got a goal here. The Peterborough game, like I said earlier, we had the let's be honest, the goal at Norwood scored really quick. Then we just shut up shop. Here it looks as though we're carrying on with that game plan.
We've had a couple of good chances, haven't we? Really, Parrott and the one from Bennett. So I know they probably took the wrong option, and then you think, probably have had the best chance though, Callie, with that. The one from the corner when Andre miskicked it. He should have buried that, really, shouldn't he?
Right, last 5 minutes of the game. Stuart, I really do appreciate you. I'm going to drop myself out, get a drink and freshen up. I'll do the same for you, Steve. Crunch, you're in charge for a bit.
Oh, cheers. Left me and you in charge, Callie. This could go very wrong. Very wrong indeed.
We've taken over.
What does Lambert need to do then to win the fans over again now then? Because initially
I don't think he can. I think see, when he came in, Stuart, he was I thought it was a little bit of a weird appointment. He's in the Norwich City Hall of Fame. Yeah. But I think everyone give him a chance. He was. Do you remember him on the line, Callie? Then first 2 or 3 games, he was up and down the line. He was really vocal. I think the other day he's come out. He said the owner they need to have a chat. It's just I don't think it doesn't seem to me that the owner and the manager are on the same page. I don't know if they talk. I don't know, but I think it all depends. Callie thinks he'll still be here till the end of the season, don't you? I think it's all probably seeing where we finish. If we don't make the playoffs, I think that's him gone. I really do.
Yeah. I mean how long's he been there now? 2.5, 3 years?
2.5 years now.
Yeah, 2.5.
October, he joined on our championship season. He had most of the championship season and we went down. We played really badly in that championship season. Last year, we started off well, faded, and then COVID happened. This year, again, we started off well, albeit the fixtures were nice to us. Let's be honest.
Very kind.
But he just seems, I mean, I don't know Paul Lambert personally, but he just seems so arrogant and so full of ego. So, you know, the way he's handled some of the youngsters at the beginning, what with the squad photo stuff, we've been calling out for a few of the youngsters. Some of the loanies he's got in are no better than our academy players. You know, we got one lad come on the wing who's no better than one of our academy lads, but the academy lad isn't in the squad. And we've got 6 loanies. You can only have 5 in the matchday squad. So it seemed a bit panic. And just coming back to what Rich was saying, when he was first here, he was very vocal. You could hear him on the touchline. I've been watching, especially the away games. I watch it without the commentary, and I'm watching this one without the commentary on the whole stream. And you can hear all the talking in the stadium and all the players talking. You never hear Lambert. You hear more from Stuart Taylor. I still don't.
Is Taylor there today, Callie? Is Taylor there today?
I can't hear him, so I don't think so. I think he had a family issue, didn't he? So I think he's up in Scotland, isn't he?
Is the money still? They still got a bit of money though. Obviously, Evans is putting a bit of money in. The wages are still quite high. Some of the wages still really quite high.
See, I don't think we're in League One. We're not going to be spending big money. Obviously, he's got. The thing is, for me, he's got all these loan players in, and he's got like a lad called Matheson come from Wolves, Harrop from Preston. You got Bennett, so you still got to pay them. I know we're not paying out transfer fees, but we're obviously paying a decent whack on loans. But it's just a bit strange that he sort of signed these loan players, and then 2 of them are on the bench tonight, and you've got, I think, a lad called Luke Thomas, and he's from Barnsley. I think he's injured, but really, when you're signing these loan players, Stuart, you really want them to come in, hit the ground running, and make a difference to your team, and they haven't really made a difference.
Well, the only one that looked like making a difference, was the right back, but he had the first game. He looked incredible. You know, we had an attacking outlet on the right, one on the left. I think changing the fullbacks made a big difference for us. But he still doesn't see him as his number 1 right back. He sees Chambers as the number 1 right back, and Chambers can only go up and down so much. But
to be fair to him, though, Chambers he's done right the last couple of games. I know. Look, Chambers, you know what you're getting. But he's coming towards the end of his career, isn't he? You've brought in a young lad for a right back. I think you've brought him in. Why are you not playing him?
Well, that's the thing. We talk about why you're not playing him. So the other thing is we've got a striker that we paid 7 figures for, rotting in the under 23s because he's had a disagreement with the manager. We've had Martin's favourite midfielder. He calls him the Ginger Pirlo, John Nolan in central midfield. He's rotting in the under 23s, and he's actually got more goals than our strikers anyway. So these players, they're on decent wages because we signed them in the championship season anyway. Yeah. But they're so... Sorry,
good man. Freddie Sears, what's happening to Freddie?
Freddie's on the bench. He's out of contract end of the season. I would have thought he'll probably go. I know someone who plays golf with him. I think he'll probably go to either, I reckon, Colchester or probably Southend because I think he still lives in Colchester. So I would have thought he'd stay local. But
he'd be on decent money. He'd be on decent money as well, wouldn't he?
The problem with Sears is Sears is a good striker. He can play down the middle, but the manager won't. He come out publicly saying he's not a striker. He's a winger. We play him as a winger or whatever. Mm-hmm. And to be fair, in his whole time he's been at Ipswich, he's been played out of position. Let's be fair to him.
Mick played him wide, didn't he? Mick played him wide. I was just going to ask you, Stu. Talking about man management, and Paul Lambert, I don't think is a great man manager. Obviously, you played under John Lyle. He was a really good man manager, wasn't he?
Yeah, without a doubt. I think he was old school, but when he was at West Ham, and I think it was the same with him, Robson and Charlie Woods. Charlie Woods, I knew Charlie when I was 9 years of age. He obviously was in contact with my dad for a long time, and I think the similarities between Bobby Robson and John Lyle were massive. They had time for everybody, whether it was the youth team player, the tea lady, the washroom lady, the fan on the street. They had time for everyone. And they had that respect and they had that aura. And when you start to play for these player managers, you go, hang on a minute, these guys, regardless of who you are, you're a human being to them. You might be the worst player, or the best player, or you might be the youngest player, you might be the kit lady. I've got time for you. So the way they instruct, but their knowledge of the game, the way they spoke to you, that instantaneously got respect and the aura about them, Fantastic people. Brilliant.
Brilliant. Right. First half's done and dusted. So, Stuart, really do appreciate you dropping by, my friend. I really
You're
do
welcome,
appreciate
guys.
it. Hopefully, you'll come back, especially if we win. You're the lucky omen.
All right, guys. Well, yeah, no problem.
Brilliant. Cheers, Stuart.
Cheers,
Crunch
Stu,
out.
top man.
I will see you in a bit. Crunch. You look after
I'm
yourself.
off to get a cuppa.
Absolutely. I'll bring those two guys back in. Cheers, man. Right, let's do the halftime show, shall we? Steve, I've not seen you in all of, 5 minutes. How are you, my man?
Time flies. I'm all right. That was good. I enjoyed that.
There he is. Look, Mr. Moles.
Bonjour.
Neil Allen. So, Neil, you've not been with us. Matt Stannard said he's loving this extra long pod. Thank you, Matt. Thank you so much. We put it on because the game we thought would be rubbish, and the team have been playing rubbish, but the team have surprisingly played okay in that first half. Lee Anderson, North been a real handful. Started to fade last 10. Facebook user, looks like the team remembered to drink their Red Bull before the game. I'm shocked. Sid Driver says, Liz Marks Sid, that was like first half conversation, mate. Like, we've moved on now. I love you. Neil, what do you think of the first half?
It's actually been quite good. Start off with, they're actually working as a group. They're teaming up basically and stopping Hull from doing what they want to do. It started to open up a little bit as the half went on, and my God, we are wasteful.
Yes, we have gotten into the whole box, Steve, on a number of occasions, and you just want that final, don't you? You want that final something.
Martin, your mate on the right, he managed to get himself into the box in a shooting opportunity, and what does he do? He then crosses it. Like, what are you doing, man?
But as we said in the first half there, Steve, he's getting into those positions and he's beating a man, or he's trying to beat a man, or he's trying to do something positive.
Yeah, I love that he's getting himself in that position. And that was awesome. It was a brilliant position. But instinctively, you just shoot. Just go for it. It would have been 2-0.
Smash it.
He could have passed it through the keeper, but no, he just knocks it back in left.
It's ironic, Steve.
I was always told if you smash it across to the far post, if it gets a deflection, it will be a sitter for the other striker.
Yeah, but you were also always told to shoot, Neil, and you'd never would.
Yes, but that's because it would be in the halfway line. What's the point of shooting from the halfway line?
Hands up, the people in this chat who have scored from the halfway line.
I have.
There you go. So shut your face. Luke Penny, Paris decision making is awful. I can't believe when he was played through on goal and he then wasted so much time that he then passed it to the first defender. Oh, yeah. He's been missing in him and Alan Judge particularly, but we'll start with Troy. He's been missing in that first half, Neil. He's really not in it.
Parrot's been all right on occasions. We're a bit missing on headers. We seem to just stand back and go, "You can win the header, that's all right," which I'm not really understanding why. But he's been in a bit of build-up play. He's been okay, but obviously there's decision errors and that sort of thing. But we're Ipswich Town, so it goes without saying.
Alan Judge, then, how about him? Because I've not seen him. Obviously, I've not got the luxury of any commentary to hear him, but I've not seen him. Has he stood out for you? I'll ask Neil first, then Steve, you can come in on that one as well.
Mm-hmm. They've sort of crept over to the right-hand side, I think. I keep mixing up when Bishop's on the ball and when Judge is sort of in play. But, yeah, we've had some tidy bits down the right-hand side. We've also played it out to Kenlock, and he done that knock and run, but unfortunately there was a defender waiting.
Miles,
he actually had the leg on someone.
I know.
He had legs on someone. That was incredible.
When we scored, I called him Miles' best player to pitch Kenlock, Neil. So I'm going to stick by that. That's his new nickname from now on. But Steve, Alan Judge, what do you think?
Unimpressed, really. I can't say he's done anything really of note that first half. So
no. MIA again.
He's one of those players where we've seen it in the past quite a lot this season, and after the match, you then think, "Oh, what do you make of so and so?" Oh, of course, I forgot he was on the pitch. Just totally forgot he was playing.
The one where he half made a run, and there was that ball quite early on put through to put him open in loads of space, and he just didn't continue his run, and he sort of just looks there, flapping his arms. You think anyone else in the team would have had legs to do it, but he hasn't got any, has he?
The work without the ball has been impressive. We are hunting in packs. Yeah, the tempo of our play today has been really good, and we've been bullying Hull in areas of the game because of our tempo. Really a Mick McCarthy type performance. Like, we're hunting in packs, we're pressing, we're on the front foot, we're playing the second ball game. It's really something to admire. I'm going to say it to admire, and that, you know, maybe Lambert's going to save his job. I don't know. Tom James, Parrott is good at being a nuisance, but he's holding us back with his passing. Facebook user, only half time. Let's not get too bloody. No, Ipswich Town fans, we need to get excited when we get the chance.
We need that excitement, man.
Because it's too often we can't get excited. ITFC
it only lasts for 45 normally, so the second half's going to be absolutely dog.
Absolutely. If fans were there, Bennett would shoot more. Fans would be screaming at him. That's not worked out for Cole Skuse, is it? Fans scream at Cole Skuse to shoot from everywhere. And he's always a 2-yard passer. Elliot Leader, Carfu Kenlock's been great. I think Matheson would give us more balance. Elliot also said he scored a diving header at the back post, but that was an own goal. So, commiserations, Elliot.
What did you think of that touch on the corner that let their player be with an easy chance? And
Andre came that close to his first assist of the season. You know, he's not. What about Toto's tackle? Talk to me about that one, because I said in the stream was never a booking for me.
No, the player. The ball looked like it left the player, and did he just lose control of it, or what was? I just don't really get it. But the ball was quite away. Nsiala had to stretch, and he's on the body. He clipped the player's feet and kicked the ball. Got all of it basically.
From what I saw, he came in, won the ball, and the player just hurdled.
No yellow, no foul or anything. But
hurdled Toto.
The referee missed that foul on Toto earlier on, didn't he? They're all crying out foul, and the referee's like, "What happened?"
When I was watching it, the referee didn't give the booking for the foul, Steve. You could see him. He was almost saying here, here, and here. Now it's a booking. So a repeat offender. I just not sure it was even a foul to even warrant that discussion at that point. That if you make a tackle and the player just flings himself in the air over you, that's not a foul. If you've got the ball, like
no, he got the ball on that. As well. He got the ball, and I first, when I saw it, I thought brilliant tackle. Then I saw obviously everything going on with the ref and Toto sort of putting his hands up. So he can't be given a free kick for that because it was a beautiful tackle. That's what you want from Toto. Though,
Toto turned into the old Toto, where he's calamity in everything, and you think any minute now there's going to be a penalty.
He's going to give one away in the second half, isn't he?
Yes.
There's a few things that are inevitable. Everything.
Yeah. Well, he's on a booking now, so it could go either way with Toto. It could go from the sublime to a sending off. There's no middle ground with Toto.
He's such a risky person to have on a yellow. He really is.
Yeah. Callie, this is League One refs, though. Mark Dowling, welcome in, Mark. They will score. We just need to take our chance second half. 2 glorious chances missed by each side first half. Rob Davies wasn't a foul, wasn't out of control, wasn't off the ground, was in control. I think you said it right.
What about Dazell's?
I probably missed that. You've caught me out there.
It was almost he lunged in. Well, it was a hell of a lunge. Studs up, but it's when Kenlock mistouched it. The ball broke free and 2 players went for it, and the Hull man got there first, and Dazell basically wiped him out.
Yeah. Google user says we're overdue a sending off. Toto ? Mike Brown. Dazell was a defo yellow. Rob Pooley. Just hope our missed chances don't cost us. Absolutely. So Neil, Steve, you can answer this one in a second as well. Do you see us going on to win this game? As I ask you that, the results so far, we've got Shrewsbury beating Milton Keynes Dons, Sunderland drawing with Fleetwood, Peterborough drawing 0-0 with Plymouth. Charlton are drawing, so mostly draws around League One at the moment. The only results you've got are Shrewsbury and Lincoln, I think that was. So, Neil, can we go on and win this game?
We rarely come out and boss it both halves. there's always a good half and a bad half. So if we're going on that theory, I think we're going to have to hold out the 1-0. And if we can, then beautiful, 1-0. Let's go.
Yeah, I'd take that every day of the week. Yes. Steve, can we go on and win this game, do you feel?
I still think it's going to be, well, obviously I said 2-0 defeat at first. I'm going to go for 1-1 because, like Neil said, we're a team of 45 minutes. I can't see us holding it, and I think Hull are going to wake up for that second half.
We're going to tire, and we're not going to be able to keep up the work rate we have done.
Yeah, I did say it'd be a game where we didn't have the ball a lot. Possession stats so far, 45% attacking possession. So, again, we've not had the ball too often in attacking areas, but we've looked decent when we've had it. And you do hope that those chances don't come back to haunt us. That'd be such a Town performance. But we are 45 minutes away from beating a top 6 side. Just to
no, don't be silly.
Well, no, we are, So could this be the moment? We were saying before the game, Paul Lambert is that sort of lucky manager where he'll pull something out of the bag. Could this be it? Josh says 2-1 Hull. Facebook user, if Hull have a decent team talk and we can see within 10, we'll implode. Good evening, Luke. Matt Steiner will take a 1-0, but not sure I trust us to see a 1-0 out. No, I certainly don't either. You've got, in that first half, you felt you had goals, and I've not seen anything yet.
Did you see that bit of play over on our left-hand side where we're defending an attack, and they end up pushing up because Kenlock keeps tucking in. There's a man out on the touchline, and if he stayed with him, he would never have any time to control the ball, bring it under, or do whatever he wants to. And Kenlock keeps rushing back like we're setting up a flat back four, and then every time he's passed the ball, he's then got to sprint out there again. Well, stop dropping and just stay out with him. You've each got men.
That will be a tactical shape thing, though, Steve, won't it?
Yes,
that'll be an instruction. So while you're winning 1-0 and you've got a clean sheet, rather, you don't particularly mind that, do you, Steve? It's particularly with a player like Miles Kenlock, who's got pace about him.
It allowed them to make a break because it ended up getting into a position where they could cross the ball or jink past our defender to make it into the box. And it never happens if you're man-to-man further up rather than keep dropping off and leaving a man free. Because Kenlock, when he drops off, he's not marking anyone. He's in space just going, oh, don't run anywhere, will you, space? Sorry, I've just seen Leighton Durrant. You can smell the playoffs. Leighton, you might want to call a plumber. I don't think that's the playoffs you can probably smell. Definitely ain't the playoffs you can smell. It really isn't. Bruce, what are the bench options to replace Toto? I'm worried they will target him this half. You've got Matheson. You could play Chambers at centre half and move Matheson to the right, or you could bring Ward. You could bring Ward on centrally. I wouldn't mind seeing that bit like David Owensworth back in the day. But I'd probably go with Chambers. Stuart Codlin, I'll take a 1-0, but I'm not holding out hope. Rob Davies, McCann will be slaughtering them at half time. Have to take a single chance we get in the second half. If we try to defend out a 1-0 lead, we'll lose. Matt Stollery, bring back Judge for Edwards. Elliot, Parrott will score. Callie Slate's a striker and they score. Well, let's wait and see. So joining us in the second half will be Town legend, one of my favourites when I was watching, Darren Currie, in addition to Crunch. Neil, we appreciate you're back at full-time, Neil. When we do our full-time show and get everybody else involved. So the chat, active in the chat, and of course you can come on the full-time show and have your say live as always. But joining us in just a second will be Darren Currie right after this kind word from our wonderful sponsor, Lizzie.
And here she is, leaning into Stuart. Oh, yes, she's really, really pleased with herself. Yes, she's going to tell everybody on the old fax machine when she gets back to the office.
Hi, I'm Lizzie, the founder of I Want to Network. Networking is always about building connections. So gone are the days of shaking someone's hand, and that was the way that networking was done. So whether you're homeworking, homeschooling, self-isolating or quarantining, we still want to connect with you. And with our online offering, we're more than able to do that. Our events are designed to be online only, and all our particular events are planned with that in mind. So Check out iwanttonetwork.com and speak to you soon.
Promise you won't let me down.
Right, let's bring in Pat Cruncher first and foremost. Pat, welcome in. There's Stephen. Right,
Hello.
Pat, before we bring in the legend that is Mr. Darren Currie, is the dog away?
Hey, mate.
Yeah, we can hear you. Don't worry, we can hear you. Is the
They're
dog
running
away?
around. They're running around somewhere, having fun.
Has the wife put up the picture in the toilet yet?
The picture's in there.
What
I'll send you a picture later.
What picture is it?
I can't remember what it says on it. I knew nothing about it, and it just turned up today.
It's a positive slogan, is it?
Something, yeah. Well, when I send you the picture, you'll know.
Fair enough. Fair enough. Steve, are you ready to meet an idol of yours?
Yeah, absolutely. One of my favourite players. I remember.
Has he still got blonde hair? Do you remember when we signed him?
Yes, I do. I remember a lot of things about Darren Carr. Sadly, one thing I do remember is the miss at Leeds, Darren.
Oh, come on.
Oh, don't talk about that miss at Leeds.
Come on. Got to move past it. Sorry, I'm so sorry.
All right. I forgive you. I love you. Welcome in, Darren. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
It's a real pleasure of ours to welcome you to the second half. Did you manage to catch any of the first half?
Yeah, I watched a bit of the first half while I was having my dinner. So, yeah, quite encouraging. Good start to the game.
Yeah.
What'd you have for your dinner?
We had some macaroni cheese tonight.
Oh, macaroni cheese.
Living the
Now
dream.
you're talking.
Very nice. Very nice.
Nice.
But yeah,
We got some subs.
boys,
I think they're making some subs. McGuinness is coming on, Martin.
Listening to you boys talking about it.
So.
Yeah.
Two subs.
It was a good first half. Like you said in the first half, Crunch, you wouldn't have thought that one team was 30, the other one was 12, would you? Other way around.
No, it really is. Crunch, you're
Definitely.
you're about 5 years behind us. Can you try and exit and come back in again? Because now
on this stream?
I think the wife's now using the Wi-Fi. Now she's put the picture up, so you might want to tell her not to. But Darren, obviously, Barnet was a recent managerial reign of yours. So after seeing that first half, what were your expert thoughts on Town's performance? You've heard the fans, you've heard us. What do you think?
To be fair, you guys have been pretty accurate with your assessment of the first half. Can't remember which one of you guys said it, but what is crucial that the shape's been pretty good. They've been a narrow 4-4-2 and they've all been working together. There's been some good cohesion in their defensive shape, but and they pressed well in the first half. And if they don't keep that up and they allow Hull time to get themselves going and get their passing going, then what I don't want is to see the boys getting deeper and deeper and deeper and then just inviting pressure and then eventually, something could come from that. But no, it's important they keep up the energy levels and their defensive discipline.
We need a second quite early on just to kill it off.
Yeah, the boy, I'm not familiar with him, the right winger, the left-footed boy who had a chance when he was driving in diagonally towards a goal and he chose to try and square it. He's got they said on commentary that he should have taken his shot, and I just felt, it was a great opportunity. You're right on top of goal there, get your shot away, and 2-0 would give us a little bit more comfort, wouldn't it?
Yeah, definitely.
So what would you be saying? Let's put yourself in that dressing room. Hopefully you will be one day. What would you be saying to your Ipswich Town team?
No, listen, again, from a defensive point of view, it's about keeping our shape, keeping our work ethic going. From an attacking point of view, can we be a little bit more ruthless in the final third? I think we've controlled the game quite well. The two boys in midfield, Dazelle and Bishop, have been handling the ball well. So it's important that we continue to move the ball around. If we get another chance, we've got to take it. But defensive shape, let's keep the clean sheet and the game's won, isn't it?
Absolutely. You've played on some really good managers, one of which obviously was Joe Royle and Mike D asked Darren, what's your favourite memory of Big Joe?
There's quite a few, to be honest. When when I actually signed for Town, he was aware of me when I was a young man when he was at Man City, and he said to me that I've always been familiar with you, Darren. I've always thought highly of you. He said, but I thought you was a lazy see you next Tuesday. And then when I played at Portman Road for Brighton, and he said to me, when I realised you actually do run around, not quickly, but you actually do run around, he said, I thought I'd try and sign you. And that was my opening conversation with him.
Oh, wow. I mean, what a manager, though. You just sort of imagine you want to run through a wall for, though, really, isn't it?
Oh, he's the best. He was the best. Absolute pleasure to play for. Brilliant character, fantastic personality. Obviously, all this sort of tactical business with the football side of it. But his actual personality off the pitch was fantastic. Brilliant to play for.
I met him in a curry house in Felixstowe once, years ago, obviously when he was still manager at Town. And even though I interrupted his curry, he was still more than happy to chat a bit and to sign an autograph for me. He seemed like a nice, lovely guy.
Yeah, great guy. Great guy.
Are you all right now, Crunch? I was all right anyway. Well, you might have been all right, but we were all on a different conversation. You were still still joining us. Are you with us? Are you present?
I'm here.
Just yeah. Well, you're here, but I mean, your audio's gone somewhere else now.
It's a bit quieter than you were.
Can you hear me? Can you?
No,
hear
I
me?
mean, we can now. I mean, I like it. I like you this quiet. This is good. This is good. I might have to turn you up a little bit. Hang on, let me go to my mic settings. Right now, try and speak, please, sir.
Hello.
No. How many podcasts do you do a week, Cruncher?
Too many.
Yeah. Sort your audio out, man.
Now with it, it's the same.
Drop him out. Can you believe him, Steve? Look, he's on every single week.
Professional, right there.
I know. He slags off these players. It's like it's like a player talent with a boot missing. Audio is the one thing we desperately need.
So you can't just beat an iPhone, turn it to the side, and switch the mic on.
Job done.
Easy as that.
It really is. No, it should be. It should be. So where are you joining us from, Darren? Where do you call home these days?
I live in Witham, which I actually moved here when I signed for Town because I was living in Hertfordshire at the time, and my wife was pregnant with our daughter, and I didn't want to move too far away from the family, so I went sort of halfway up the A12, and I've kind of been here ever since, really.
Yeah, it's a nice part of the world, that. Hull just had a great chance, deflected wide. It's gone for a corner. Hull building, Crunch. Are you back with us?
It's getting worse. It's getting further and further away.
You're gonna have to just put up some signs.
He's got a happy face, an angry face, and a halfway between face. So,
can you hear me now?
Yeah,
I've muted myself. I don't know how.
Oh, jeez. I don't know. What you like?
There's a whole goal coming soon. I can feel it.
Yeah,
I can feel something here.
Yep, there certainly are. I did have a quick. Oh, Darren's thoughts on Andre Dazelle. Have you seen much of Andre, Darren?
Little bits, to be honest. I'd see quite a bit of him when he was playing more in the under-23s because there was a lot of interest in him at the time, and not so much in the first team. But you can see he's a very talented boy. I like the way he handles the ball, and I think lefties look a little bit nicer on the eye as well. So he's definitely a good footballer. I like him and Bishop, to be fair, in the middle of the park.
Yeah, particularly in this game, they've looked fairly decent. Crunch.
Sid Driver wants his shirt signing, Darren. Can you see that on the screen? Come up Rick Stone's Bellway site and sign my shirt tomorrow. And he says, I'll pay the fuel. Is that over your way?
Rick Stone's, yeah, there's a school around there. So I know where he is. My daughter goes to that school. So yeah.
So get your heart out, Darren, and go up to the old and is a bricklayer who wants his shirt signed.
My wife's got me painting at the minute, so if I can get a lunch break off of her, then I'll pop up there.
There you go, Sid. There you go. Bruce Harris.
See what that is, Darren? You see what that is?
Yeah, I know. Wait, I need to get back into work. Trust me. I'm doing far too much around the house.
Bruce there is things stand Town of 10th, feeling dizzy yet? Yeah, I've got a nosebleed.
4 points. 4 points for the game in hand off the playoffs.
Mike D, Crunch is joining us live from the Perseverance on Mars. No, you'd get a better signal. Any rumours you can give us, Darren, on your return to management? Anything?
Do you know what? I'd love to, but it's very quiet at the minute, and I'm pulling my hair out, waiting for an opportunity. But no, listen, I'm desperate to get back in. I miss being on the grass. It's been my life since I was at school as a kid. So, these last 6 months have been pretty painful, pottering around the house. I know it's been tough for everyone with the pandemic and that, but not having football in my life has been really difficult. But as soon as I get a chance, I'll be back out there and I can start getting abuse again on Twitter.
Yeah, well, stay ready because Tottenham's coming up soon, mate.
Well, it's not. It's been different this year, isn't it? So there's been not so much pressure from the crowd, and I think it's shown in how many sackings and how many managers have moved on. So
absolutely,
I need the crowd back to help me out.
Definitely. Elliot Leader, who needs pace when you can cross the ball like Currie? Love watching Darren drop a shoulder and perform step overs for days. Such a great player.
I did try and run fast. My legs just weren't having it.
Didn't need to. With your ability, though, Darren, you were technically one of the better players I've ever seen at Portman Road. Really, I truly mean that. You things you could do with that ball from a set piece was
I appreciate
amazing.
That.
Just truly amazing. I've got another question here from Callie. If Ipswich came in for you, Darren, under Evans, would you take it?
I'd walk up the A12 tonight.
Get it done.
Get it done. Get a man. He's sick. Get a pen out, Darren. We'll get the contract facts to you. Although it's Ipswich, probably page it to you first. With that sort of technical technology advance. Sid Driver, you'll get some Twitter abuse if you don't get your ass onto my site tomorrow. Sid, leave the poor guy alone. He's played football up and down the country. Come on, leave the poor guy alone. Oh, nice mug there, Crunch.
You like it?
Love it.
So, can I ask you guys a question then? How is tonight's game in relation to recent games? Obviously, I follow that there's been a lot of unhappiness, let's say. And tonight, in my opinion, the boys are doing all right.
It's a completely different team, it seems. Much more intensity.
What is different? What are they doing different tonight then that they maybe haven't done in recent weeks?
Passing to each other.
Early goal helps, doesn't it? I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, first of all, you've got taking your chances. You've got the ability to go and hunt in packs, be on the front foot, play with a high tempo. Things we've not started that second half that way, and what we're seeing in this second half is more of what we're used to. I would say, not able to keep the ball well, not going on the front foot, allowing teams to have a little bit more play against us than we should do. I think a lot of fans, Darren, expect the Ipswich at this level particularly to just go out and be a Barcelona type League One side, press, keep the ball, look good, play exciting, and it just hasn't happened. It's been tough.
That's the Ipswich we all know, isn't it? I always say when I speak to various people about the Ipswich way, and obviously, in my opinion, I'm not just saying it because of you guys, but you're a very educated crowd that appreciate good football, understand good football because of the history of the club. So, that is the Ipswich way. So if that's obviously been frustrating for you guys to not see a team that's sort of dominating possession week in, week out.
But possession in the right areas as well. We're great at stat padding, as I call it, keeping the ball inside our own 18-yard box and making the stats look great. But it's not meaningful.
Saturday and tonight, man, we've played a little bit longer, haven't we? We've sort of abandoned that. We've not playing McGuinness and Wolfen, and you've got Toto and you've got Wilson, and they're two centre halves they're League One centre halves who just do the simple things, don't they? Really, where they're not a John Stones pass it out from the back. I just think they do it simple, and it's probably helping us. I think.
Can you tell?
And you can tell me this, but when you are passing the ball, there's there should be a purpose to it. Now, obviously, Man City is the one that we all, look at the minute, and there's always even if they play backwards a couple of times, there's normally a purpose to it, whether it be a switch of play or some brilliant movement off the ball. But sometimes you can get caught up with just passing it for the sake of it, like you say, just to get your numbers up. But
do you think with no crowds, Darren? Do you think no crowds that sort of has an effect on that? Because there's no pressure from the fans, is there? When they're passing it about going sort of nowhere. If they had fans in the stadium, I think it'd be a little bit different.
Yeah, possibly. I mean, I've had this argument with many people that I think no crowds has benefited some teams and no crowds has hindered.
Look at Liverpool. Look at Liverpool. They would never have lost 4 home games with a crowd to them. Exactly. Burnley, Brighton. They'd never be losing to them teams with fans there. No chance.
Exactly.
Norwood down at the minute.
And listen, as an ex-player, and I know all players come in for grief at some point. It's part and parcel of the game. But the energy and the buzz you get from a crowd when you're on both sides of the stick. When you're playing well, there's nothing better when people are right behind you. And then when you're on edge, because there's a few coming after you, it lifts you. It gives you that little feeling inside that you've got to make the next pass count or the next cross count or whatever. So, listen, it's been a huge loss not having you guys in there.
Yeah, up and down the country, as Crunch was saying, definitely. I've got a few more comments here for you, Darren. First of all, have you ever seen a better hit than Leighton Baines is for Wigan?
That was some goal, wasn't it? No point scoring like that and being on the losing team, though, is it?
Good answer.
Brilliant. Love you.
That was a good night, wasn't it? That was a great night. When Bentley stuck that second goal in.
Home debut. That was my home debut. Absolutely.
Great ball in. Great ball in for Naylor's goal. Great free kick in for Naylor's goal.
But being a debut...
They all jumped on me. I think DeVos clumped me around the chin and everything. And I was thinking, I just got to go with it because it's a great moment.
What was going through your head? Because wasn't Leighton Baines the first goal of that night? I'm sure it was. Yeah. So on your debut, you must have thought, oh, for stone me, there's no chance I'm better in that tonight. Flipping heck.
Yeah, no, it was some goal. I mean, but listen, I was always confident. I learnt very quickly being around that team and that club that, especially at Portman Road, you always felt like we was going to come back and get results and get goals, and just the way we were set up to play and the players we had. Going behind 99% of the time weren't a problem because we had enough about us to come back.
Why did we go up, Darren?
We had that little spell, didn't we? I think it was Watford, QPR, Wigan. Had that little spell.
Sheffield got injured, didn't he? He missed them.
Yeah, Sheffield was big
games, didn't he?
Listen, even after drawing at Upton Park and then coming back to Portman Road, I was thinking, bloody hell! Like we were so strong at Portman Road. I still rack my brains trying to work it out myself. That was my nearest and best opportunity to become a Premier League player, and I'd have been so proud to have done it with Ipswich, and it never happened. And I haven't really quite got over it, if I'm being honest.
Was that the year that Joe said the Wigan lads felt like autumn leaves? Was it their place? They got a penalty or had two, and I always remember Joe Rule said that the Wigan players fell to the ground like autumn leaves because they were always chucking themselves to the ground. Was that year, Crunch, or was that another year that he called?
They beat us 1-0, didn't they? I think Ellington might have scored a penalty up there.
Yeah, I think it was that.
Ellington and Jason Roberts was the other striker, wasn't he?
They had two deadly strikers, didn't they? That was the real difference.
Look, it was a great season. I know we didn't go up, but under Joe, it was they'd score 2, we'd score 3 sort of mentality, and it was always exciting football, wasn't it? And everyone enjoyed it. Obviously, we were getting like 20,000+, great atmosphere, taking loads of fans away, and you think. I just think, Darren, with just a little bit of money, I think Joe would have got us out of that league because he didn't really have a lot to spend, did he? He signed David Unsworth, great signing. I remember he signed him on loan. He didn't play in the playoffs, did he? I think his loan run out, didn't it?
Yeah, I think it did. I mean, when David come in, he was brilliant for me. I mean, I know I had the likes of Matty Richards and whatever behind me anyway, but, you know, David coming in with his experience, I remember him saying to me as soon as he come through the door, like in our first game, he said, listen, I don't want you back in this half. You stay in that half and I'll deal with this half. And to be fair, he was true to his word. But then every time I got it in the attacking half, he was bombing on past me. He was
yeah, I remember the Sheffield United. That his debut, Sheffield United away when he scored. I'll tell you what, that game we won 2-0 and I thought we are going up. I couldn't see anything else. I thought we've just won 2-0 here. It was February. I think, was it the week after? Oh, he's gone.
Oh,
his phone's turned off.
Back.
That's the iPhone, you see. We turn it sideways. It's not always as easy as he was claiming it was. Sometimes I've had that before. I'll just drop him out. Unsworth debut goal, says Elliot Leader. Ben Moore says, was that duel for Wigan? And then he asked if Dan would take the Town job. He's already confirmed that he would. He'd walked down the A12, he claimed. Bruce S. Someone's having fun on the keyboard. Absolutely, Bruce. Got to squash some lemons occasionally.
That's good.
We're looking all right here.
Go on.
Oh, is it? Go on. Go on. Go on. James Norwood, you... Is that James Norwood? It is.
That was. Yeah. How many one-on-ones has that guy missed?
Too many.
Got to hit the target there, haven't you?
Callie says, get an Android, Darren. True. Here he is. He's back. We hope. There he is.
Sorry, guys.
No, it's fine. What happened? Was it the iPhone that went on to standby mode?
It's where I'm on my phone, so if someone rings or I've got like all the football scores popping up or whatever, so I went missing. Sorry.
That's all right. Don't worry. We'll let you off. Talking to phones, though, somebody asked, Darren, Nora's got a lot of stick recently for interacting with fans on social media. As a manager, and obviously with Twitter these days, how do you handle the pressure? Have you got any tips for Norwood?
Listen, I'm a football person, and even as a manager, I was always interacting with the fans. At the end of the day, if you want to take a pat on the back when you've done well, you have to take the kick up the backside when it ain't gone so well. Listen, that's the game, and if you show fans, and my belief is if you show fans that you're genuine like that and you're real, and we're all people, so. You know, you've got to take the rough with the smooth. You can't just always look forward to the pat on the back when, like, if we win 1-0 tonight and he gets the goal and that, you know, he'll love it tomorrow. But, you know, you just got to take the rough with the smooth. You've got to sort of man up to the situation. Fans want to speak their mind. That's the game.
Particularly in this modern day crunch.
Yeah, look, I think Norwood sometimes he doesn't help himself. And like I say, Darren, if you're scoring every week and you're winning, you know, I think you can get away with it a little bit. It's when he hasn't really been playing a lot. He's not scored the goals that we obviously hoped that he would. So I think sometimes it was like the other week. It was on the Friday night, and like we thought, I think he was having a bit of stick from someone, and he went back at him. And you'd have thought on a Friday night, you're in the hotel, put your phone away, concentrate on the game coming on the Saturday. But I suppose, look, everyone's got Instagram, Twitter now, haven't they? And you think. It is good. I like it that you can interact with players, but I think sometimes fans don't help, do they, really? They don't help. Some of the things they say. They wouldn't say it in the street, would they, if they're coming to some of these people?
No, they probably wouldn't say it in the street, but let's have it right. If you guys were in the stadium, you'd show your feelings in the stadium, wouldn't you? So,
is that your brother there? Listen, your brother saying he's very good looking.
My brother?
He's on the screen. Can you get their messages up?
Yeah. Oh, yeah, Lee Cuzzer. Yeah, that's my brother. Yeah. He's a good-looking boy. Yeah, really good.
Sorry. Quality. Oh, every family's got one, Darren. Don't worry. I've got 4 in mine. Sid Driver Cruncher isn't on Instagram. We need to change this, Gov. Hashtag get Cruncher on
Instagram. No.
He's on TikTok, though, aren't you, Crunch?
I've got TikTok, but I don't. Are you on TikTok, Darren?
No, my kids do TikToks every bloody day. I'd stop all that tomorrow if I could. It drives me mad. It's all I have. TikTok, bloody silly dance moves.
I like TikTok. I've got to be honest.
Listen, I'm on Instagram and I go onto Facebook and that's a bit more sort of family stuff. Twitter, I leave myself open to a bit of flack on Twitter once in a while, but like I say, if you get a result, and when I was managing Barnet last year and you get a win, you wake up Sunday morning, you get all the nice messages, well done, great result. You get beat, you wake up on a Sunday and you don't really want to look at your phone.
Yeah, we had Darren McCanty on a few Thursdays back, and I listened to his podcast, and he says he doesn't go on social media on a Saturday. He always leaves it till the Sunday morning because obviously when you win, everyone wants to congratulate you, and when you lose, you know what you're going to get, don't you? So stay away from it.
Yeah.
Stephen Parry.
No, but you know what? I'll be honest here. Sometimes, not all the time, but sometimes you get the fans that want to come on and give you loads of grief. Look, period. Like pick the wrong team, pick the wrong tactics, blah blah blah. But you get some fans that come on and they're constructive and they'll say something that I go, that's a fair point. And I don't mind on home games. I go in the bar after and I interact with the fans that way and we'll have a chat. And someone always says something that creates a bit of debate, whether it's something you disagree with or something that makes you think, no, he's got a fair point there. So you just get your one or two that just want to have a pop at you. But that's part and parcel.
I've got a question for you, Darren. On Sunday, I was talking about the National League stopping. Obviously, North and South have packed up. The actual National League's continuing. But I see that Dover and Kings Lynn not to play?
Yeah, Dover has stopped playing. Kings Lynn have continued to play, although they, from what I read, that they think they will have to stop within the coming weeks. And I think you'll see more and more of that.
How can you have a fair competition? How can you have a fair competition? Because you got, I think, Chesterfield have furloughed some players. You're going to have, with no relegation, you're going to have, say, you're mid-table and you can't go anywhere. How can that be a fair competition? Because obviously they're still having this promotion still to League Two, isn't there? So I think would they have started the season if they got that 10 million, didn't they? That they were given. If knowing now that it was only going to run till like January, and then they were going to have loans, do you think the season probably wouldn't have started there? And these people said no.
No, in a word, it's not a fair league now, with the way people are acting, and the fact that it was a grant in the beginning and now it's become a loan has just, caused so many issues with clubs. And like you say, there's a number of teams that are furloughing players, probably they're higher earners or, and then playing as their cheapest and maybe youngest players. But even that doesn't make sense, does it? How can you furlough players and still sign players? When did the government choose to step in? It's a real mess, in all fairness.
Yeah. Elliot Leader asked, did you have any bust-ups within the lads at Town, Darren? Come on, dish the dirt.
Bust-ups? I'm not really that type of person. I'm not particularly hard in a fight, so I wouldn't pick a fight with anyone. When I first signed, and I love him to bits, but Jim Magilton, within the first couple of weeks of signing, he was on my case a little bit, and I think he was just testing me because he did say to me further down the line, he just wanted to check that I was one of you, as he put it. I want to know that you're one of us. So he was on my case early on, but there was a reason behind it. But listen, I learnt very quickly that Jim can have an argument with himself, can't he? So he's top man, but he did come from me a little bit at the start.
Were you part of the Amsterdam group, or was that a bit after your time? I'm trying to think.
Yeah, I think you left now. Alan Lee was on there, wasn't he?
Yeah, that's what. Yeah.
I think Darren.
Now, what happened in Amsterdam?
Agree. Well, they went to Amsterdam and they weren't allowed to go to Amsterdam. Alan,
Gavin Williams, he was in there, wasn't he?
Yeah, I think they asked to go, and I think Jim said no, but then they said it's our weekend off, or day off, so we're going. And then he went, and then there was some fallout from that. You see, yeah.
Did you play? I can't remember, Darren. Did you play much under Jim? I think was that his first season when you sort of went on loan to Derby?
Yeah, he. I don't know quite what happened there, and I haven't had the chance to catch up with Jim properly and sort of have a beer and discuss what happened. But we was. He took over, and then in the pre-season, I remember sort of making a conscious effort to, because we were friends. So I thought I don't want it to come across like
was that hard?
I'm abusing the friendship. He's a manager now, so
was that hard that he went from manager to player to manager straight away? Was that hard?
Yeah. For Jim or for the rest of us?
For you, yeah, for the rest of you.
Listen, Jim was like a captain manager type anyway, you know what I mean? Sometimes you could do something wrong or not maybe train right or whatever, and you know you wouldn't even hear from Joe necessarily because Jim would be on your case, but there's nothing wrong with that. I know now, having been a manager, you need them types of players within your group to sort of manage the players for you. So Jim was like a manager, he always had ideas on the game. He was always going to go into management the way he spoke about the game.
Yeah, definitely. Obviously, Posh have signed Jack Taylor, who was on Barnett's book. Somebody asked earlier in the chat, I can't remember who it was, so I do apologise to the person who asked it, but is there anybody in the lower levels that you would recommend to Town if you knew somebody at Town and they're in the market for a player? Is there anybody that stands out to mind to you?
I've recommended quite a few to Town, to be honest. Whenever I come across players that I think are capable of representing the club and playing at higher levels, I've always made contact with the club.
Did you manage Jack Taylor?
Yeah, I was the one who sold him.
So did you recommend him to Town? Did you call up Town when you knew Darren was on the case, or was that too?
Yep. There's him. I'm not Jack Taylor. We could talk about because you've mentioned it, but there are one or two others. I'm not going to name names because it's not fair on necessarily them and agents. But there are one or two others that we will talk in 5 years' time, and they'll be higher up the pyramid. And I'll say to you, yeah, they're another one like Jack Taylor, because I was very fortunate. I had some good players that had come through the system at Barnet, and they just needed. Listen, it's going to sound like I'm patting myself on the back now, but they just needed...
No, bloody do it. Go for it.
No, but they needed a bit of guidance. They needed a bit of love. You've got to manage everyone slightly different. And some of these boys just needed a bit of guidance, a bit of love, made to feel important, some game time, which I gave them. And, you know, there's another boy at the minute who I gave his debut to last year when he was only 16. And he's moved on already. He'll get to the top. He's a hell of a player. And he's another one. He's another one I mentioned to the club.
Hearing that, Crunch, what do you think? Because Jack, he's hit the ground running in League One.
Jack Taylor's a hell of a player.
Did they organise a friendly, Darren? Did you play Peterborough in a friendly? I think Darren said that. Did he, Martin?
Yeah, he did, yeah. Yeah, Darren said that they arranged that friendly just to see what he was like.
Yeah, I think, yeah.
I think we had Peterborough in pre-season. We played Peterborough in pre-season. I think he's been on many teams' radar, Jack, when he was like young. And then I worked with him for 18 months, and it was during last season that we sold him around about this time, January, February time.
Wow. I'm going to bring Sid in. Sid, big fan of Darren, big fan of the club. I'm going to go and get a drink.
Evening.
Stretch my legs. Crunch, you're in.
There you go, Sid. You can ask Darren about your shirt.
Oh, no, sorry.
On, I need this shirt signed. Come on.
Are you the one who works in Rickstones, Bellways?
Yeah, opposite there. Opposite Rickstones. Can you hear me?
Quiet, or one of you guys?
Yeah, we can hear you. Talk up, Sid. I can hear you.
Right, yeah, I work opposite Rick Stones. Has this gone really quiet? Can you hear me, Grant?
I can hear you.
Anything, boys.
I can hear you, Darren. We can hear you.
Yeah, I can hear you.
I can hear you. What's happening in the game? What's happening in the game, Steve? Because I haven't really been watching.
I haven't watched.
To be fair, not a great deal. Still looking good. We've had a couple of more chances, but
they've not really threatened, have they, Hull?
No, it's been a bit more even the second half, but Hull have never really pushed. Town are winning back some good balls.
This is your typical League One game, though, isn't it, Steve? Really, this is
scrappy.
Yeah, this is much like Saturday's game when we've had the chances there and we didn't take them, and tonight we've taken this one chance and
have we all gone silent? Crunch, I can't hear you. Can you hear me?
I can hear you. I can hear you.
Can you hear me, Sid?
Yeah.
I can't hear you, mate. I can't hear you. Are you working in Bellways near Rickstones?
Yeah.
Are you there tomorrow? I'll pop up tomorrow. What time are you there?
Oh, how the fuck are we going to do this?
Message me on Twitter.
Message him on Twitter, Sid.
Message me on Twitter and I'll pop up tomorrow.
Top man, Darren.
Got to wear a mask though and stay 2 meters apart, right?
Have you got talking town mask yet, Sid?
No, I haven't yet. I was just looking at the merch.
You need to order one. I've got one. It's
yeah,
in the car.
15 minutes now.
Yeah. We still do. I still like his second goal. I still like a second just to finish it off. Because one good chance at Hull take, you know. But to be fair,
what happens when we win?
They haven't really done much, have they? They haven't really improved on the first half so much.
No, it's backed up a little bit, but we're quite lucky that Hull haven't really been that good. Not really threatened, have they? Not really pushed.
This is a story of the league, though. I think.
You know, sometimes these are the types of performances you want away from home. Sometimes, aren't they? You know, get your goal and you're nice and solid, hard to break down. You know, you're not going to play the beautiful game every week. That's unrealistic. Although you try to.
Shrewsbury 4 MK2.
Yeah, we're good that Norwood put that chance away. We've had a couple of other good chances. It could have been 2 or 3, but it's
have a look at this. So we're still
Emma.
See, Burton are beating Charlton 2-1.
Bloody hell.
Accrington and Stanley 2-0 down.
I've given up with Charlton. Every time I back Charlton, they just do shit.
They've gone right. I think he'll be losing his job soon.
Host has unmuted your mic.
Oh yeah. Were you muted?
We can still hear you.
Yeah, absolutely.
I can hear you.
Can you hear us?
I'm having a conversation with myself because no one can hear me.
We can hear you. We can hear you.
We can hear you.
We can hear you. You can't hear us.
Oh no, is that better?
No, I can't. I don't know what's happened to my phone. I was giving it the big one about having an iPhone earlier as well.
Yeah.
Well, he's come back in.
Oh, it's not back
in.
What's going on, Martin? He's got to get another beer. Look at him.
As soon as you stepped out, it all went wrong.
No, we're still winning. What's happened?
Norwood's down again. Makes
Not
change.
a lot happening.
We're 1-0 up away from home in the last 10 minutes. This is like.
Look, Norwood's doing his usual. 10 minutes to go.
Stuart Slater, anyway. I used to clean his boots when I was in the youth team at West Ham.
Funnily enough, he didn't say that, did he, Grunge?
He said Matt Holland, didn't he?
I've done them for the second year.
Darren, can you hear us? Can you hear us?
I'm going to take that as a no.
He can't hear us.
You want to get a new iPhone, Darren?
It's that bloody iPhone. He's taking a piss out of me.
I'll bring him back in a sec. Let's try that. Has that worked?
Hello?
Not Drinnen, for fuck's sake.
Hey.
Can you hear us? Crunch, do you want to...
That's that Wi-Fi over Whittam way, isn't it?
Right.
Yeah,
Biscuit
I'm not
face,
far.
you know.
Can you hear us?
Can you hear us? This is the Perseverance rover from Mars to Darren. Darren
all
to
going
Perseverance
well.
Mars.
It was all going so well.
Ever since Sid come in the room, it's all gone quiet.
Is that better? Is that better? No, he still can't hear us. It's still, Cruncher, message Darren and Tempter to come out and come back in again. I know your best mates with all these ex-players.
Oh, yeah.
Just message him and tell him to come out and come back in again.
I will. I'm looking.
I was nearly the special guest for the second half.
Who, you?
Yeah, he texted me Sunday going, "Are you okay for the second half?" He went, "Oh, sorry, wrong person." I felt quite insulted.
I was going to say, you weren't my special guest, unless it was
quite yeah. We've had 83 minutes and we've probably hardly spoke about the game for about 2 minutes of the whole game, haven't we?
Unless it was Carnage, blankety blank. Sid is not on the invite list. Sid, my uncle, during the war, he had a lot of wow meat. Problem is, every time he goes somewhere, he blanks. What does he do, Sid?
What?
Oh, bad man, Kelly.
How we doing, lads?
Yes, my boy.
How we doing?
We're doing all right. This free kick.
Yeah, well, Norwood, that's why he's a bottle job. He could have put the game to bed earlier.
Biscuit legs.
Yeah, well, he's got to go. If we win tonight 1-0, he can have as many biscuit legs as he wants.
Did anyone see, who was it, Warney, that lad who on Twitter, the one who had the little spat with, fucking hell. Oh, holy, punched it away.
I want to know who's in goal tonight, because that's not Dracula. Because he's coming for crosses left and right here.
Is he Bart reincarnated? Is that what you're saying?
Behave yourself. Nobody is. To be fair, Bart himself didn't come for crosses.
No, he didn't. It looks a good performance. Dare I say it? You know.
Sid, did you get your shirt arranged with Darren?
I tweeted him.
I tweeted him for it.
He said he's going to come down tomorrow.
Here he is. Can you hear us now?
I think I'm back in.
Can you hear us?
Can you hear me? Is that my brother? Yeah, no. Even my brother's ringing my daughter now and saying, "No one can hear you." Can you hear me now?
We can hear you. Can you hear us?
No. I can hear you. I can hear you guys. Yeah.
There we go.
I said it's that dodgy Wi-Fi. Dodgy Wi-Fi over Whittam Way.
It's that dodgy iPhone, man. Get an Android. You'll be fine. And listen, you know, as you're taking a little trip tomorrow, you're taking a little trip to sign Sid's shirt, just a bit further up the M6, come to Coventry. Come to Cov and you can sign my shirt in Cov.
You two, behave yourselves.
But I ain't paying the fuel.
Sid, come back to us on the full-time show. I can't have that being put on the screen. I'll get a headache. Now I've got Callie here. So,
free kick, yes.
From what you see in the second half,
he's collapsed. What the?
From what you see in the second half, what are you thinking? What are you thinking? I'm trying to ask Darren Currie a question here. For fuck's sake, you get the bloke on the show and you're trying to ask him a question and all you got people talking over you. Darren, what do you think of Town's second half performance?
Just talking. Go on.
We are, if you can hear us.
I've been concentrating more on having a chat. But listen,
I
ain't really offering much. So we've sort of rode the storm, if you like. But these last sort of 6-7 minutes plus stoppage time is going to be crucial, isn't it? So I think Hull have disappointed me. Really, I was keen to see how they would play tonight, with them being up the top of the league. And I know Grant, their manager, and I know he was a good player himself. But I think so far, fingers crossed, Town have been worthy of the point so far. Certainly on the defensive display, they've been nice and solid and hard to beat.
We're definitely. Crunch, we're 2 minutes away from me busting this bad boy out of the picture.
Oh, put it away.
Bin it.
And I said to Steve, this game is similar to Saturdays against Oxford. It's been a poor game, but we've taken a chance tonight. Whereas Saturday, we had 2 or 3 chances and we didn't take them. And this is just sort of what you get in League One, I think, guys. It's not pretty football. There's not a lot between the 2 teams, is there? We got to follow it up Saturday. If we win tonight, no good Saturday playing Doncaster and not winning. Got to
no,
that's it.
Back it up.
3 minutes left.
Facebook user, I've enjoyed it regardless of match commentary up a town. Yeah, we've kind of, we've been watching the game but not talking about the game because it's too much to talk about,
Yeah, but you don't often get two Ipswich legends on the stream like that. Do you know what I mean? Slater was a bit.
Me and Rich are every week.
I said legends. Sorry, guys. No, I was saying, look, Slater was. Slater was before my time. Darren, I saw you play. You were brilliant. I was disappointed when you signed and I saw you, and I was like, his name's Currie, but he's not Indian. What's going on? Like, what's happening? So, but it is what it is. But quality player, man.
Do you remember Darren's Barnet when he signed Callie? That blonde hair he had.
Yeah. Listen, everyone wanted that blonde hair. He was setting trends like Beckham. He was our Beckham, mate. I'm telling you.
He was. He really was. I'm trying to.
I'm gonna get when I look back at the hairstyle.
I'm just worried about your finances, Darren. About all the insurance claims you had with all those ankles you were breaking, twisting people up. Proper ankle breaker.
Listen, I've got a lot of fullbacks coming after me now. I've retired. It's only because I couldn't push it past them and have a race, so I had to twist and turn, didn't I? That was my game.
But
do you mean this hairstyle? Do you mean this hairstyle? Hang on. Do you mean this?
Oh, look at that!
Hey.
Sorry, Darren.
That is a serious hairstyle, and that is why away fans used to sing Rod Stewart songs to me when I was taking corners.
Oh, you've done it.
Harrop's coming on. Harrop's coming on for Parrot.
It was either Rod Stewart or Caddy Gugu.
Oh, it was. I was talking to Dean Bowditch about away fans, and he said Millwall was the worst place to go. Did you ever play at Millwall with hair like that?
I've scored at Millwall for Ipswich, so come on, you.
No, I meant with hair like that.
I know, but you must remember, like, I burst through with my speed.
It's just the misses I mean.
Yeah, I've played at Millwall with all sorts of hairstyles.
I can only imagine.
It don't have to be just Millwall. Wherever I played, I used to get grief for having hair like that.
He's played all right tonight, Martin Parrott. He's worked really hard.
He's still shit.
Yeah, I think he's had a decent game. Tonight. But Callie, didn't we say the 2 best centre-backs at the club? I think that guy up the top there called Martin sort of laughed at us when we said NCR.
Best centre-back pairing. Best centre-back pairing. No nonsense.
Whoa. Don't mention NCR, Crunch, because I've been on NCR's hype train all season. Don't come aboard this hype train, brother. This is mine. Yours is Wilson. Don't mention.
Definitely.
No, it's NCR all the way. I can't believe it's
5 minutes of extra time, injury time. 5 minutes.
3 clean sheets on the bounce.
We've got 5 minutes yet.
We're 4 minutes away from beating a top 6 side. Paul Lambert is 9 lives. He lives again.
I don't care.
He's not going on for this one, is he?
I said if we beat a top 6 team with a good performance, then fair enough. And if we do it today, I don't think anyone can argue with the performance. I think it's been a good.
Going. Get the hat on.
The five head will be released if we win.
Oh yeah.
The 5 head will be released, but it's lockdown, so my 1 fade looks like a 3 or a 4 at the moment. So
can you do a picture, Martin, of that at the screen when he does the reveal?
I'll be hitting that print screen button. Don't worry, that'll be firmly being printed.
It's not even a secret. It's all on my Insta anyway. Do you know what I mean? There's loads of pictures. Yeah.
Darren, obviously, Paul Lambert's a manager that's had a lot of flack, not having getting games going his way. As a manager, when this sort of result happened, all the old cliches in the press come out. But do you really think this is it? We've had 2 clean sheets, 2 points, and now we've beaten a top side. This is my moment to really turn it around and turn this ship around and get it get it really going. What do you think and what do you say, not to yourself, but your team?
He's gone. Hey, Martin.
I mean, all the cliches come out, didn't they, about, it's a good place to build from with a clean sheet. And, this is your typical dogged, hard-working, grinding out away performance. And then, like we all want to see Saturday, you want to back it up with a bit more free-flowing, exciting football, and obviously another 3 points. And it probably, as cliche as it is, but it goes without saying, you start getting clean sheets, you start picking up points, your confidence grows, and people find another level.
That's not a foul.
So, I personally would.
Oh, that's not. Did you give it for us?
Work has gone into tonight, and that being.
Where's Martin gone?
Martin, you're on mute.
I've got to go.
There we go.
Sorry, my bad. I'm pressing too many buttons. I'm trying to see
Martin, did you see the tweet this morning? You did share it on the WhatsApp group from Mary Brind. Did you see it, Callie?
No. What was that?
Mary Brind. If we win tonight.
Oh, getting a tattoo.
Tattoo of the cruncher on my arm.
I want to see that. I want to see it. Well, listen, it's Ipswich Town. We got 90 seconds left. Yo, pray to every god, Jesus, Guru Nanak, Allah, whoever you believe in. Fucking pray to him right now.
We've lost the last 14 games against this lot, haven't we?
Yeah.
We've got a stinking record.
David Pascoe, Martin Lambert's interpretive dance. Yeah, it was in the interpretation was I was trying to tell Callie and Rich to shut up while I'm listening to Darren speak. That said, I know why you both got excited because Toto and Tiala there were the last ditch.
Done well.
Literally,
he's had a good game.
Yeah, he flew himself at that.
Who's your man in the match tonight then? Who are you going for, Callie?
I'm going to be biased, didn't I? If it stays like this, I'm going for Toto.
I think he's had a good game. Kenlock's had a good game.
Kenny's good. Norwood will end up getting it by the papers because he's the goal scorer if it stays like this.
Oh, cool.
But I still think, I'm still not going to get off. I'm still not going to turn around. Is he onside? Fucking bury it, son.
Yeah, no, don't worry.
Sorry.
Callie, you're going for the Alex Griffin viral reaction, aren't
you? I'm just like, come on, man. You're an attacking player. Like, bury the ball. Stand over the ball.
Oh, come on. That's not fair. You can't hit every chance and get a goal.
We don't hit the target.
Can't hit any chance. Yeah.
We don't hit the target enough. We've had some really good positions tonight, and their goal has not been tested, has he? Really?
If we'd have been clinical, we could be 3 up.
Definitely
3 up.
Daniel Barnard, watch along should be done every time. Daniel, we don't just do watch along, my friend. We raise it and take it to a
Don't
whole.
worry, Dan. I'm coming for your training session. Martin, get your camera ready.
Yes.
There you go. Get the hat off. Here we go.
He lives again. He lives again.
The 5 head is released.
Look at that.
Unbelievable.
Oh,
Darren,
fucking hell.
Who was your man of the match from the game you saw?
It's got a different hat on.
I'd have to give it to either Bishop or Dazelle for me. And I'll tell you why, because defenders ultimately are in the team to defend, and the back four have been nice and solid and hard to break down. But the two in front of them, I know they've played with the 4, but the two directly in front of them have stopped any real quality into the front man. And although they're in the team to get Town playing, they've showed the other side of the game today. So I'd say probably one of the two from Dazelle or Bishop for me.
Absolutely. Darren, thank you so much for being with us for that second half. We really honestly appreciate it. Hopefully you'll come back to us and watch another game with us and do a podcast with us and answer more fan questions and tell us some more stories. But thank you so much.
Cheers, Aaron.
Yeah, I'd love to. Love to.
Yes.
Thank you very much for having me. It's been a real
Say hello to
pleasure.
Sid for us. Say
Thank
hello
you.
to Sid for us tomorrow, Darren, down at the building site.
He's coming up to Cop as well, isn't he?
I'll vote with him.
Brilliant. Love you, Darren. Thanks ever so much, my man. Thank you, Darren. Cruncher, get it in
Darren.
the diary. Get it in the diary. Get that in the diary. So, Callie, before I let you go, thank you for joining us throughout this evening. What have you thought about tonight's performance? Guys in the chat, get active. You can come on the show. You can have your say. Let me know what you felt following today's 1-0 win. Yes, a game we all thought we'd get hammered. Town won 1-0, beating the top 6 side, getting 3 points. That is now 5 points in the last week. What do you think? Get on the show. Callie, kick us off. What do you feel?
Well, this is, I'm up here right now, so hold on. Let me think properly. And it's like, I think I said it earlier in the chat. I said it on the show yesterday. I said our defense isn't the issue. I said the defense is pretty good, and we showed a solid defensive display. It's the scoring. We got a goal, in 10 chances, Nord will put one away, and that's proven he's done that. Fine, done the job. Fair play to the lad. But the thing that's worrying, and Crunch said it earlier, is we've got to back it up on Saturday. We had a good result against a Blackpool, then we fell apart, after that. This is a good result, a good performance as well. We just got to make sure we keep that consistency. But I am still worried about the goals and how we're going to score, because today, Hull are not the Hull that we saw when they come to Portman Road. They were turning us over, right? They ain't the same Hull side. Whether that's because we've nullified them or whatever, or it's because they've, maybe dropped in form or whatever, I don't know. But I'm just a bit worried about the goals, because that we should have won 3-4-0 easily. We could have won that. You think about the chances.
Yeah. Curtis says, Callie, I thought Norwood couldn't finish his dinner.
Well, every now and then, you will finish like if you have 10 meals, you might finish one. So, that's that.
But does it matter if you win 1-0 or 8-0? They're 3 points in the day. That's 3 points, a clean sheet. That's all that matters, isn't it, Callie?
It's a bit. 3 points are 3 points. You've got to score goals. But the problem is, it's not going to happen every week. Norwood ain't going to do this every week. So there needs to be, if we're flying and we're winning 3-0 every game, and we've got 3 different goal scorers or whatever from there, fine. So what? It doesn't matter. But when you've got, and that happens at a lot of teams, you might have a striker that's going through a bit of bad form, a bad patch or whatever, but they've got other players around them that score. We just need to make sure that our front three are clicking. And it looks like now maybe if Guion comes back, you maybe could have Edwards out on the left, Bennett's on the right. Bennett's maybe, because we forget Bennett's is still a young player, and I was critical of him then, telling him he needs to score or whatever. That's me with my, watching the match with a match hat on or whatever. But you've got to finish it. Hopefully, if these 3 can click up front. So if you have Norwood, Bennett, and Edwards, we've got some pace there, and we can cause problems. And then on their day, if they were good, and they could score or whatever, and they get a bit of run of form, and they're playing the next sort of 6 games or whatever together, that builds confidence. And we could. I don't want to get carried away.
Can you put the message up from Lloyd Gladden?
Yeah, Callie, appreciate you, brother. Take care of yourself. I'll bring in Neil. Welcome back, Neil. Just a thought for a lifetime. She's fan fighting in hospital with COVID and coma. Trying to get support from a town plasma video from mate. Waste if anyone can help prayers with Grant Cross. Yeah, 100%.
Lloyd, if he messaged me on Twitter or DMs me, I'll sort something out. Just message me and I'll sort something.
He will. Postman Cruncher delivers again. Pat Cruncher. So, Pat Cruncher, before I bring Neil in and other people, I see you all waiting. Can't wait to get your thoughts. What do you think after today?
I think tonight, look, we've been really critical of Paul Lambert, but tonight he got it spot on there, Martin. We've gone away to Hull. I know they're not in the best form. They haven't had a shot on target. They have not had a shot. They've not hit the target all night. Thomas O'Leary's had a pretty easy night there, isn't he, really? But,
yeah,
like I said, Doncaster Saturday now, you need to back it up. Keep the same team. There's no need to change it. We've kept the same team for 2 games. We kept 2 clean sheets. We're pretty solid. Don't think we're going to score many goals. That's like I think we did say before the season started, goals were going to be an issue. But if we keep in clean sheets, 1-0 is good enough. If we can nick these games 1-0, but really tonight, guys, it should have been 2 or 3. We've got in some great positions, and we've not hit the target. And like on other night, it might come back to bite you. Tonight, it's not. We've defended really well. I thought the back 4 were really good. I thought it was a team effort. It wasn't an outstanding display.
Get that out of the bloody screen.
It wasn't an outstanding display, but we got the job done. But we need to go again, don't we? We've got Doncaster, and then we've got Accrington.
We have. Yeah. Well, look, you all thought we were going to get hammered, and before the game, Neil and Steve's bold predictions were 1-0 defeats, and that was being bold because it wasn't a 3 or 4. Neil, you just said we should have scored more. We should have won by more.
Yep. Don't get that very often, do you?
If we criticise one man, Fisherman, should we not praise one man today?
Well done, Lambert.
You
didn't cock it up this time.
You've got to give the manager credit tonight. We can't bin him when we don't perform, and when we do play well, we don't give him credit. You know, we have to give Paul Lambert credit tonight. We've gone away to Hull. They're flying high in the league. We haven't been playing very well, and we've got the 3 points. So tonight, let's enjoy it. You know, let's enjoy this 3 points. Saturday comes, yeah, we'll deal with that further down the line. But we've beaten a top 6 team.
Yeah.
But finally, that drought is done.
And hopefully that's the monkey off the back. That's not anymore. So Saturday when we play Doncaster at home, they're coming to our patch. They're coming to ours. They're not in the greatest of form at the minute. Let's get out there. First 20, 25 minutes. Let's really get in their faces. Let's get an early goal again, because we all know, guys, goals change games and it gives you more confidence. And tonight we've got that goal. We could have got another one. We've got the job done. Let's be happy. Let's be happy.
For 90 minutes, weren't we? The best team of the whole game. It's brilliant.
Facebook, your team played for Paul Lambert tonight. Christopher Martin, same against Oxford. The Doomsters and Gloomsters said we'd get hammered and we didn't. The Fisherman, we've got to applaud Paul Lambert tonight.
No, what are you on about?
Oh, come on.
No, I'm not having that whatsoever. Look,
I'll let you daddy, Mike.
Absolutely not having that. No. Look, that was probably the best performance I've seen all season. We looked more composed. We looked like a team. But I'm not having Paul Lambert's turned this around and he's given us a superb performance and all that rubbish. You know, one swallow does not make a summer.
We're not saying he's turned it around.
Hull weren't great, were they?
You can't say that. You cannot say that Hull weren't great. You have to give the man.
They weren't great against Doncaster. They weren't great against us tonight. They've been dropping points. They're not exactly world beaters.
Yeah, but
come on, Cruncher. They're not world beaters. Tonight, look, let's cut the chase. Ipswich tonight played the best that we've played in a long time. Yeah, that's not down to Paul Lambert. Right?
Who's it down to then?
Do you know what I would say? I would say the fact that we haven't got Stuart Taylor sat on the bench shouting his odds on the sidelines. Maybe the players. Maybe the problem is Stuart Taylor. Maybe that's the reason. But we won tonight against a top 6 side. That's great and everything. But I'm sorry, I'm not giving credit to Paul Lambert. Not in a million years. This bloke. No. And
let me talk.
Go on.
Come on, let me talk. Let me have my say. Look, you know what I think of the manager. I want him gone as much as you do, but I think tonight, in isolation, maybe we take this game in isolation. Like I've just said, Mike, it's no good if we turn up Saturday against Doncaster and we don't get the 3 points. Tonight means nothing then. You have to back it up. And it's all, I agree with you. Hull were poor. That is the league to a T. The league isn't very good, is it? It isn't.
No, the league isn't very good. And we got 1-0. Look, I think we need to be a little bit realistic here. Chris Martin, I mean, no respects, but I've seen your posts, mate. You clearly don't know much about football. You know, I'm not having all that. The end of the day is, right, we won today. Only happy clappers gave us a chance. Most of us, they were right tonight. But how many times have they been wrong? Look, we won tonight, and that was a great result. And I watched the whole game, and I was enthralled right till the very end. When was the last time I can say that about sitters? I can't remember ever watching a game under Paul Lambert and thinking, do you know what? Come on. I was getting excited for the first time in bloody what seems like 2 years. I'm not going to give Paul Lambert credit because he's had plenty of times to sort this team out. He's had 2.5 years to sort this team out. And it's nice that we get a win, and it's great that we're beating the top 6 side, but we need to keep the feet on the ground, guys. If we go to Doncaster at the weekend and back it up, that'd be a great result.
Nah,
it was only 2 games ago. It was only 2 games ago where we were watching the most terrible football match we've ever watched against Northampton. Do you know what I mean? I mean, no disrespect, but we've got to, we're on a high, and rightly so, because them players went out tonight and they deserved that win. That's the bottom line. They deserved that win, right? Because it just felt that everything was passion. I mean, I still didn't like Chambers.
Don't
on the
you
right.
slightly wonder where they've been?
Do you know, that was the question at half time.
That's spot on, Mike. That's spot on. Skip intro. If you're battering when we fall,
where's this effort?
You have to give him credit when we fight like that and we get a result. You have to give the manager credit. You have to tonight.
Not in a million years. The players, I'll give plenty of credit to.
Come on, Mike.
Paul Lambert
Get that poster out. Get that poster out. Go on. Get it. Go on. There you go. Just for you, Mike.
Someone throw some darts at that bloody thing, will you? No, look, I'm not. No, because Paul Lambert has had, he's had 2.5 years at this club to sort this mess out, and he hasn't. Well, we beat a top 6 side, and everybody's going, "Oh, Paul Lambert has got." There you go.
Whole commentator was bang on tonight. Ipswich made Hull look poor and didn't allow them to play. Credit where credit is due.
Yeah, credit where credit is due to the players in the way they performed. Was that down to Lambert? Why is it? If that was the case, then where has it been for 2.5 years?
Possibly. Mike, I love you. I appreciate you. I do appreciate you, but I'm getting the flash.
We won! Come on, you boys!
We lose.
That's better. That's better. There's now one more space in the lobby. I'm going to bring in.
Did you get that popcorn gift out there, Martin? When me and Mike.
Yes. You two going at it. Cruncher, final thoughts before I let you go and bring 2 new people in.
Look, you know my thoughts towards the manager, but I just said previously, we have to enjoy tonight, and we cannot bag the manager off. If we'd have lost tonight, we'd have all been on here. Lambert, he doesn't know what he's doing, and we've won. We can't go the other way and say it wasn't down to the manager; it was down just to the players. He set us up. Give the man some credit. But feet on the ground. Back up on Saturday. You get another 3 points Saturday against Doncaster, and then people think, yeah, you may be doing something there. But if you go and draw or don't win Saturday, this result is meaningless. It has to be a springboard to
a start or something.
Green shoots.
Yeah.
Back in the mix. We're back in the mix.
Go and phone Radio Stuff and give them the lowdown. Love you. Appreciate you. There's now one more space in the studio, guys. Get yourselves in. I'm going to bring 3 people in at once, and then obviously let you have your say, and then move you on because I'm getting that flashing images. There's lots of people want their say tonight. Obviously, Paul Lambert has convinced a lot of people he is the man for the job long term. Josh, Stuart, Sid, has he convinced you 3 after this? Not this week. Clean sheets all round, points all round, 3 points at Hull. Stuart, kick me off. What's going on?
Well, he's not convinced me. I'm happy we've got one. I'm happy we've won. We've ended the drought that we now can say officially we've beaten one of the top 6. I can happily say that. But if Paul Lambert's convincing me, no.
But Sid, we've beaten Hull in a game where you probably 2 hours ago would have said, "Oh, it's going to be 3 or 4-0, isn't it?"
Well, I said to you that I didn't want to tune in for the game. I'd rather tune in for this.
Good
but
man.
that game's completely shocked me. We played absolutely phenomenal. And why can't they play like that every bloody week?
Good question.
Yeah, exactly.
Why can't they, Josh?
What I will say is, I've noticed performances the last 2 games since Stuart Taylor's not been there have been better. Is it Stuart Taylor that's holding Lambert back?
Or is it players returning back to fitness, Neil? You know, you've got Norwood playing again, playing 80 today, James Norwood. You know, and if he had better luck on Saturday, you'd be talking about 6 points from 6, wouldn't you?
Yep. Yeah. Well, a lot of the players, you think Chambers sat out was at least a game, and his comeback he was good. Just the whole team in general, they put in a good shift and got the points.
Who stood out?
I just want to know why they haven't been able to do it other games.
Who stood out for you, Sid?
Darren Currie.
Good man. Yeah, good bet.
I'll be honest, we both said it. We didn't watch much of that second half. We just glued to what Darren said.
He was a good man, really good. One day I hope to say he was on my show before being town manager. I really do. He was a good guy. Sid, I do appreciate you. Look after yourself. I'm getting the message again that more people want to come in. Fantastic stuff. Sid, look after yourself. Guys, there's more room in the studio, so get yourselves in. Get your say on the screen. Stuart, Josh, before I let you both go, Stuart, why do you feel the team haven't been able to put this sort of performance together on a more regular basis?
Well, well, it's the fact that he's like when we won against Blackpool, then he changed the winning team, and then we just had the clean sheets, and now we've had the same formation as we did the last game, but we've won it. I just feel like now we don't need to change the team at all. Yes, we've had the injury scares with Norwood coming off with a slight injury or something like that, but I just feel like we don't need to change the team. We're a solid team right now. We don't need to change it. We need to back it up on Saturday because we have got Doncaster on Saturday. Yes, they're not in great form, but we need to back it up from tonight.
Stuart, as always, appreciate it. He's now on Twitter, people. Head there and follow him. Good guy. Cheers, Stuart. Josh, you know, Stuart Taylor's been mentioned. So, are you saying this should be the end of the road for Stuart Taylor at Town? Are you saying he was the problem?
I think the last two games show it, doesn't it? He's not been there. Matt McGill's been by Lambert's side. Kind of shows you something about Stuart Taylor, doesn't it? Maybe he is the underlying problem.
Possibly not. I mean, you could just say they've suddenly played better. This is a team that we Neil, we've always told from people in the know that this is a squad that doesn't play for Paul Lambert. Did you see that tonight through the screen, that they weren't playing for their manager?
Well, that's where other games they've looked lively, and then we've had an absolute amount of dross performances, and then this was one where they've turned up again. Today they looked well drilled, as if they actually done something on the training pitch, whereas normally they all look like they barely know each other. So I can't tell you why they're like that. Can you?
No, I certainly can't. No. That's it. That's a good question. Good question to ask the people. Josh, appreciate you as always, my friend. Look after yourself. So guys, is Stuart Taylor the problem? If you feel he is, come on the show. If you feel he isn't, come on the show. Let us know what you think. Town win today. That's 3 points against the top 6 side. Paul Lambert redeeming himself a little bit. I don't know. And as I'm reading in the chat, and as Mike and the Cruncher said to each other, if you're going to give him hell when we don't win, you've got to support him, right, Steve? You can't sit here and say Lambert is this, Lambert is that, Lambert is the other, and then when you beat Hull, a team that everyone thought was going to run rampant over us, you can't.
I suppose you got to. Well, yeah, you got to give credit where credit's due. He didn't change the team, which again we thought maybe a little bit, here and there would be good. Bringing someone like Matheson in, who knows? But kept a good team. Keeping James Wilson in there, I think, was very good. He was solid again. But yeah, you got to give credit where it's due. We set up well. They kept the players. I'll give more credit than Lambert. They kept the shape really well disciplined. But yeah, you have got to give praise. Like you say, you can't batter the hell out of him when we lose and just completely ignore him when we win.
Absolutely. Jonah 565. If we're going to criticize when things go poorly, we have to be fair and say well done when things go well. Ultimately, we all want promotion. Beep beep and TJ. When things go right, we've got to say well done. Surely, right?
Well, of course. At the end of the day, that was typical Mick McCarthy. Let's be honest. Strong back four, hope to get a goal, and then defend with all your life. He's found Mick McCarthy's playbook somewhere down the back of the sofa. Where was this? Like I said, where was this 2 years ago? Why suddenly now has he decided to play this? If we'd have played this at the beginning of the season, we'd probably be in the top 6 by now. I have no problem in turning around and saying, well done, Paul Lambert. You know, you picked the perfect tactics for the perfect team at the perfect time. But that's what you paid for. You should be doing that week in, week out. And for most of his tenure, he's not. You know, it will take a hell of a long while for me to get back on the Mick McCarthy train. I'm not there yet. I don't know when I'm going to be there. Sorry, the Paul Lambert train. I might never be on the Paul Lambert train because I think he's an arrogant person and I don't like him. And that upsets me because I want to support the manager, but I can't. You know, and even when we do well, I want to praise the manager, but it's hard. And I know where Mike's coming from. You know, we've been here for 2 years. We've not seen hardly anything like this. And then suddenly, went on the verge of him going out the door, this comes up, and we're thinking like, well, where's this been for 2 years? Why haven't we had this for 2 years? You know, we're just totally dejected, and we get this. But credits where credits due. Have I muted him?
No,
I can't hear him.
No, sorry. I must have pressed the wrong button. I do apologise. I was just going to say, Beep Beep says 2 years. I do think we've had good times previously. Early part of the campaign's normally more than the latter part. Is it more about the fact that players just haven't been fit? James Norwood hasn't been fit. You know, players have not been available. Surely, TJ, isn't that more it?
They were fit at the end of last year. It's a joke.
Well, look what has happened. Now we've played the same team 2 games in a row, and we've got a bit of cohesion up front. I think Norwood was outstanding today. Like he worked his absolute bollocks off, and Parrott was a nuisance to Hull, even though he's a bit useless for us at times. But they're definitely playing for the manager, and I don't know what's happened. Because I think after that Northampton game last Tuesday, if anyone told us like you're going to get 4 points in the next week, we'd have all gone, nah. So I think we have to take the positive whilst we've got it, but keep grounded because Saturday's huge if you look at the table now. We need to beat Donny and get towards 6th.
Is it still on for you, TJ? Is it still an achievable thing?
It's achievable, but I'm still not sure if the setup's right, if the manager's right. We'll have to see. But there's nothing we can do about getting the manager out. We can protest at Evans, which we've done, but it's out of our control. We just have to try and support the players and just see what happens in the next few weeks. And we just have to try and enjoy it or voice our frustrations if we're not happy. Just not a lot we can do. But yeah, delighted after tonight. I've not felt like this in ages.
No, yeah, and that's what I say about good times. The early part of the season. I mean, up until Christmas, we were sitting top of the table. Everyone was already planning their trips back to the Championship last season. Like, it fell apart. Yes, he probably should have gone by now. Let's not beat around the bush. But you've got to be objective and say, do you know what? Today he got it right. Tactically, he got it right. Personnel, he got it right. A lot of us before the game would have said, Matheson at right back, please. Chambers actually had a really good game today, Steve.
He was solid, wasn't he? Yeah, I did say, obviously, get Matheson at right back. What's the point in having him if you're not going to play him? Even if you have to drop him to centre-back and put Matheson on right back. But yeah, fair play to him. He did well.
But that's what I mean. At the end of the day, it's baby steps now. With me, it's baby steps. Yeah. We've got to, go move on because we've had too many false starts already, and then next week we'll have a stinker and everybody will be complaining again. We need to go on a run. If I can see us going on a run, yeah, he might start winning me over. If he keeps his gob shut and we go on a run, he could win me over, yeah. But that's what he's got to do. There's too much of this inconsistency. And, it's all well and good saying that, well, we could make it. Yeah, we can make it. But if we're not consistent, no, we won't.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
I think we're allowed to enjoy this tonight. Yeah. I think when we wake up tomorrow and we still look at the table and we go, is that where we want to be when we start the season? It's not. So we need to just keep our feet on the ground and go, we're not where we want to be, but we're going to be there, when shit hits the fan or not. We're still going to be here. We're still going to support them. But yeah.
Absolutely. I'm going to bring in Lee Ando now because on Saturday, he was it. It's game over. It's gone too far. He's got to walk. What's he going to say today?
That was 2 weeks ago.
Oh, was it? Fuck me, they're all blown on, mate.
That was 2 weeks ago. When people have been asking on here tonight about why hasn't it happened before. There's 3 words. James fucking Norwood. He is the reason why we are playing well. There's no question. If you watch him tonight, he was a bully. He was running in behind. He was chasing the ball. He scored his goal. He won 3 free kicks in the final third in the first 15 minutes. Get you up the pitch. James Norwood, if he stays fit, if he'd been fit all season, we'd be top 6 easy, pushing top 2. He's our outlet. No question about it. No question about it. Simple as that.
That's what I like about him. He's a bit of a bastard, isn't he? He gets in and he bothers those defences and he just pops up where you don't expect him to. His one-on-ones aren't brilliant, but he is still a good goal scorer, and he showed that today.
This is where I'll agree with Lee. Yeah, at the end of the day, when he played for Tranmere, he was in a 3 there, but he had the perfect wide people who fed him. Yeah, I don't know whether he's got that here. Yeah, because he had good relationships with them 2 players, and he's not as good as he could be. I think he could be better. Yeah, if he got the service into him. He's waiting for a lot of it coming from the centre midfield, which can easily be cleared out. He's not getting as much service out wide where he used to get at Tranmere. And that's where a lot of his goals from, the tap-ins from crosses in from the touchline. That's where a lot of his goals come from. No, he's not getting that here. It's getting fed into him, and he's looking to try and find something to do with it. And after times, he comes in and clobbers it. Yeah, he's being a pest with it, but I don't think we're utilising him to his perfect, to what he's perfect for. Get him in the box, get a cross into him quick, and let him get his ass onto it. And if we can sort that out, it could get us 20 goals a season, easy. And I'm not denying.
I mean, Lambert, you can't, I've never been, well, I'll say not against him, but I've never, I'm not as sort of radical as some others, but, he's lost the first 20 games to get the formation right, but he's done that without Norwood. And definitely the last 2 games, he's played the same way. He's had Norwood up top, he's had Parrott in behind, he's had the 2 wider players tucked in really tight, picking up all the loose balls, and we've played off the second ball. And to be fair, the game tonight and the game on Saturday, to me, when you look at them, they were pretty much identical. It's just the expectation because it was Hull, and the expectation because it was Oxford and they're a bit lower down the table, and we didn't score the goal. But really, the 2 performances are quite the same. And as someone said earlier, if we keep the same team and everybody's fit and we play the same formation, then we'll win more games than we lose. Will it get us in the top 6? Who knows? But it really, but the formation has changed. And Mike, I know you're listening. You give some credit where credit's due. You should be the happiest man going, mate, because you've been thinking 5-0 losses every week. But we haven't been getting beat 5-0. So you must be over the moon, mate.
Tell him, Lee.
Sorry, Mike. And Callie, love the hair, mate. Loving the brush over.
I love this new Lee. Lee is laying the wood.
Is going to have a tattoo of the cruncher on her backside. We've seen it on Facebook. It's there. It's going to be launched. It's going to be fantastic. Can't wait.
Yep, absolutely. All right, Stephen, I appreciate it, buddy. Look after yourself. As always, you've been absolutely Lee, before I let you go, just before I let you, Jack says he's got 3 goals all season. That's not a goal. That's not a good goal scorer.
He's got 4.
He's not been fit all season.
He's got 4, and he's not been fit all season. Watch the games that he's played, all the games that he's played, and we've played on the front foot, and we've been higher up the pitch, and we've been better. If Norwood is injured on Saturday, we'll go back to the dross that we had before. Clearance, it's that, to me, it's that simple when you watch the games. Watch the games.
Spring Bean, if Lambert played Norwood and Jacko up top, it would be a top 6 side. This show here needs a legend, and there's only one Talking Town legend. That is, of course, Johnny Duncan. Look at him. God, I've missed that, man. How are you?
I'm not so bad, thank you. How are you all?
I'm very well. My team have won. Clean sheet, 3 points. Norwood scoring goals. Lee's laying the wood. It's all good, man. It's all good, is it not?
Yeah, he's right. Norwood's got the devilment about him, which none of our strikers have. There's no bullies. So when he's on it and he's got a bit of support, we will always be a little bit more potent up front. But I have to say, don't think it's anything to do with anything else other than them players. If them players wanted to play for the manager, they'd have been doing it by now. By the last 2 games, right? There's something going on at that club behind the scenes, and then players are putting it in because I believe they know that Lambert's not going to be there, and any potential future manager will be watching.
Tom, what do you say to that?
I'll believe it when I see it. I mean, I still think he's there. I can't see him going after that unless it's a takeover. But
well, he will be playing like that. He will be.
They're putting it in for someone, and I don't know who it is. Unless they've just realised that they're not going to get paid as much next season when we're in League One.
Possibly so, but you know, with more performances like that, whether they're playing for him or not, Tom, he is going to be here.
Yeah, and like I said, we can't really change it. They've probably realised they can't change it, so they're playing for their next contracts. Because we've got so many up in the summer, haven't we? We're going to have to rebuild the team regardless of what division we're in. I can't see him sticking around.
No, absolutely. Tom, as always, appreciate you, buddy. Look after yourself. I've got Mike D. Welcome in, Mike.
Hello.
Loving the shirts on this show. First and foremost, Johnny, your shirt is a beautiful shirt. Did you have a shirt like that, Mike, back in the day?
I never had that. I never had the core one. It was always the Umbro, the laces, the red laces. I love the red laces.
Yeah,
good one. It's a good shirt. What do you think of that today then, Mike? 3 points. Lambo's, he's reigning king again.
I thought it was good. I was impressed. I mean, I actually thought Parrott was quite good. I thought Norwood led the line really well. I thought the defence was quite good. I thought Holy came for a cross, which is the first time I've ever seen him come for a cross.
Yeah, he did. Yeah.
I still think Holy's dodgy.
Oh, he's fucking shit.
He's still shit. He was the worst.
He's the worst keeper I've ever seen
on that pitch.
He's the worst keeper.
A couple of attempts just to gather up the ball, which was rolled back to him, and it was like a Sunday morning goalkeeper. It was like fucking hilarious. But he's not. He's not that good. He's not that good. Kenlock, I think. Toto, brilliant again. You know, I mean, I've slagged off Toto and Kenlock in my days, but they've been brilliant. And Wilson, you know, me and Cranshaw have been saying it. We've missed Wilson. Now, I didn't think I'd be saying that. You know,
he's steady, Eddie, isn't he? At this level, League One is really steady.
Well,
calm
I
head.
think is it the combination of Wilson and Toto that works? And if Wilson's just that calm and experienced head that won't mess around with it, won't play tippy tap, and if it comes anywhere near, he'll just get rid. And maybe let's calm Chambers down so he's not too worried about trying to play both centre back positions and both wing back positions and run around everywhere and lose his man. So he's just concentrating on what he's doing because he knows there's more experience in the middle, like one of the guys said a minute ago. Who knows what it is? Who knows what it is? But
I didn't actually hear Chambers' name tonight, which for me was a good thing. I actually thought he had quite a steady game at right back.
Yeah, likewise. Is it quite nice to finally see a defence actually just kick it, head it, clear it, the simple stuff, the meat and drink of defending.
Yeah,
and it was also winning. Sorry, Johnny, go on.
Has anyone else noticed that when the ball is being cleared now, there is someone to header it, but there's also bodies around to collect.
I was going to say it's the second balls, isn't it? It's like
it's the second balls.
Today it was like
we've got shirts around the second balls where you can pretty much say the first, the whole of the season, you know, the defence have been heading and there's been no one to collect it, so that they're actually surrounding the ball in numbers, and it's actually working.
That's the change in formation, isn't it? From the 4-3-3 to having.
I actually thought, I agree. I thought Parrott in the number 10 was actually all right today.
Yeah, he gets on the ball, picks up the loose ball, doesn't he?
Carried it, didn't he? Yeah,
and he's starting to carry it and lay it off a bit better.
It's also the control as well. I mean, there's so many times the ball's fizzed into a lot of our players at the start of the season, and they couldn't control the ball to say it was like, you know, opposite magnets. It was like they just couldn't control the football. But you know, when you get players that come in from the Premiership, you know, like Parrott and players like that, balls that come at them at pace, they can just stop it dead. And that just gives an extra yard, which I just think helps all round. But I'm not putting any of this down on Lambert. I'm sorry. He's still got to go. There's still got to be a change. don't read too much into the Taylor thing. This has nothing to do with Stuart Taylor. You know, you don't know what his circumstances are and why he's not there. So we shouldn't really talk about them really, because you never know, you know, personal circumstances. But he's got to go. And I believe I actually think it's close. And I actually think that's why the players are perking up.
Mike, Harry Butcher, them boys turned into men tonight.
No. There you go.
I don't agree with that. I mean, come on. I mean, it was a good performance. Let's not get carried away. It was against the League One Hull. You know, all right, they're one of the better sides in this league.
They didn't turn into men. They just earned their money for a change.
Yeah. Actually, Dazelle, I remember seeing him have the ball and running forward for a change. First time I've seen it.
I love this show. I love this show because in one question, Mike says no, but Lee was nodding in agreement. Lee, did you agree with Harry there?
Yeah, put it back up again.
He said tonight, them boys turned into men.
Well, I think they are men, but I think they won everything, didn't they? Every 50-50 seemed to go our way. It seemed to bounce that way. I mean, when you look at the lineup, you see the three that we've got in midfield, and you think, "Cool, that's a bit lightweight." But they weren't tonight. They weren't, and they won most of the 50-50s. They're getting the drop downs. There was interceptions, sort of legs stuck out, stopping the ball going through. You know, a lot more compact. But yeah, I think, you know, keep it going, keep those same people playing.
Compact is a good way. It's definitely more compact. Definitely.
Compact with an outlook of Norwood and Parrott behind him, and the two. Well, they're not wide players. You know, it's the 1-3, isn't it? And they're picking, and as you said earlier, they're picking all the loose balls up.
The judge is still a problem, isn't he? He's not. He should not be playing on the left-hand side.
Who's that?
I was happy to see him come off and be replaced by Edwards.
That's Edwards' place there.
Yeah. The Judge is. I think they're more of the old inside forwards. Remember the old days when we used to have, you know, and they're inside forwards. They're not actually wide anymore. We're quite narrow, aren't we? We're pumping it up long. We're kicking it high, and we've got three players in behind. But Judge and Bennett's are quite narrow at times when the ball goes forward. They're not on the touchline. If you watch back to the start of the season, everybody's spread out on the touchline, and we're getting done by the counter attack through the spaces in between the back four. That doesn't happen now. But I think they all interchanged as well. But I did notice second half it did look more 4-4-2 second half. There was Norwood and Parrott was sort of staying up, and Bennett's was dropping back into like a right midfield role. But I think they sort of rotate, if I'm being honest. But they've got some more support around Norwood, haven't they? Which they didn't have when when Hawkins was playing up front. Every time I went up to Hawkins, there was no one near him. You know, you had one out on the right wing standing on the touchline, and one out on the left wing standing on the touchline. But now they're all a lot closer together. I think it's a change.
We need some shooting practice though. Where's TC with the shooting practice?
Friday afternoon, TC. Yeah, big time. Steve, guys, would you drop Bishop Saturday as Downs is back? Would you make any changes to the team for Saturday? You wouldn't, Will.
I would.
Play well, keep the shirt. Isn't that the mantra?
Yeah.
Should be. Yeah.
I think
I don't know.
The only change I would make
I'd bring Downs in a heartbeat, definitely.
I'd have Downs on the bench. I'd start Edwards ahead of Judge.
Yeah.
That's the only change I'll make.
You can't make changes to one position and then not bring your best midfielder.
Everyone else did so well. But Judge just always seems to be going missing. I would swap him for Edwards, definitely, because Edwards looked all right when he came on today. He was pushing forward, he was quick.
Combine Bishop and Dazelle, and you still not got a Downs. Like, Downs is the best midfielder, if not the player.
Still got 3 points, so didn't we?
Yeah, we did. One swallow, as they say.
The away commentators said that Dazelle and Bishop were running the show, and then our two players frustrated their midfield, so they couldn't get going. And they just said, "Do you know what they said? They said Ipswich were perfectly organised, and we stifled them." And they said that we.
When was the last time we heard that?
When was the last time you heard that? So
does it help that Hull aren't? We were seen as the second best team just before the match. So we're not expected to get anything out of it. And Hull aren't the most dogged team in the world. Didn't both of them things play into our hands?
I'd love to have a midfielder that can put a delivery in like that guy there. I can't remember what's his name now. One with the long hair.
Oh, Honeyman.
Honeyman. Oh, his deliveries are sweet.
Did you see him in the Championship last season, Johnny? He was fucking terrible. Like, he is League One fodder.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Well,
I've got
Norwood would love to have someone to put the balls in that he can. I tell you.
Yeah. Yeah, but you see, I thought this is why Harrop was brought in. I thought his set pieces were supposed to be.
Well, this is the funny thing, because I said to my mate on text, we got a free kick just outside the box. They're making the substitution at the perfect time. Harrop's coming on. He's definitely going to take this. And he walked off. And I thought, what's going on? I thought he was supposed to be the specialist. Put it in the top corner, mate. He walked away from the ball.
Yeah. We won't score from a direct free kick all season. I said it right at the start. We won't.
Big shout, Lee. Right, let's round the show. So, tell me, in your own words, 2 words to sum up tonight's performance. Mike, kick us off. 2 words to sum up tonight's performance, please.
Good start.
Good start. Love it. Mike, as always, appreciate you. Look after yourself. Johnny, 2 words.
About time.
About time. Yeah, love it. As always, lovely to see you, Johnny. Look after yourself. Hope to see you again soon. Lee, over to you, my friend.
James Norwood.
I'll give you 3. Go on. Finish it off.
James fucking Norwood.
Love it, Lee. Love it. Yes. Go on, son. Appreciate you. We got Callie says go again. Josh said stepping stone. Right in the mix, Josh. Mikey Laval, how about Kenlock's delivery? Yes. Miles, best player on the pitch. Kenlock, Steve.
Yeah, happy with that.
User. Great to see Noise tweeting positive ITFC comments. Very surprising. Competent and compact. Edwards class. Callie, fucking you, Ando would say that. Neil, how about you? 2 words to sum up tonight's performance, my man.
Keep going.
Keep going. Yeah. Callie, Miles, Roberto, Kenlock. Mikey, 2 up front. Steve, how about you?
Damn fine.
Damn fine. Yeah, I like it. I like it. Okay. 2 words. King Lambo. He reigns once again.
Yeah.
I will see you Thursday for the Thursday preview show. King Lambo, my friend.